Yay!
Welcome.
Hello.
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 Episode 57? Y'all, how? How have we made it
53.
53?
It's damn it, damn 7.
Oh, thank you. My brain did switch those. How have we gotten so far and yet not far at all?
One day. We should just
We
have
like
a
to
time
hang
zone.
out.
Yeah, watch within like 3 episodes. There's just gonna be like the craziest thing that just happens, and we're gonna go across the entire universe within
Listen.
like
When we,
3 episodes.
What if
I
when
think-
we leave the book, we just like it causes a time lapse and we just go into the future?
Don't tempt me.
Ooh. Anything can happen.
Here's the thing. I think y'all have been weirded out enough by things happening in universe with the weirdness that they preside that you have not also forced the weirdness that you have uniquely as the player characters that you are.
True.
True. Very
But
true.
you always have your Oliver rules.
You know.
You always have, yeah.
I was gonna answer with, "We'll get there." Well, the weirdness has yet to come. This is only the beginning.
True.
Mhm.
We will see Bert, Phil, and Filbert again.
Yes.
I'll make sure. That happens.
I will
I
summon
guess
them
that's what
from-
we're going to use our.
Hey, we did that for Iris. Why can't we do it for
Yeah.
Filbert and Bert? Phil?
Iris was already... Hold on. I don't know if we should say that because I don't know if Ryan... Well, Ryan, you can keep a distinction between what you know versus what your character knows, right?
Sure.
The reason they're kind of able to get away with it with Iris is Iris was already somehow able to tell that they were weirdos and not be affected like other NPCs were.
Gotcha.
So, you know how Rendor always used to get headaches,
yeah.
but now no longer does? She was like that, but faster, and that's very, very, very weird.
String.
It also may have partially led to this happening where now she has this whole thing, but we don't need to get back into that. Okay. So, with that being said, who wants to help us recall what happened last episode, both for the benefit of our listeners and for our dear Cody, who was absent?
Yes.
So we ran into another version of ourselves. I don't. It all just kind of melds in my mind, so I don't exactly remember where we left off 2 episodes ago. But we basically had defeated a different version of people we are possessing because we're in a memory inside of a book, or I guess it's technically a memory, but technically not a memory. But we defeated them. One of them died, and then they had to use a time turner thing to go back and eventually save him. We're not exactly sure what happened there, but essentially we now ran into a third version of ourselves, or rather the people we're possessing. They're different from the ones that we fought as the ones we're possessing, and we're friends with these ones though, as far as I know.
Yes.
Okay. Whoa.
Anything additionally anybody else would like to add, or should I clarify a couple more interesting tidbits?
One of them was a wolf.
True.
Yeah.
So this version of their 4-person group, Tony, who you knew and know as a rogue, who is currently being possessed by Rendor, in this version of the group is a cleric. Taya, who Iris is possessing, typically a druid, in this version is a rogue. Chip, who you possess right now, is a paladin. In this version, is a fighter / barbarian.
Okay.
And Drax, who in this version you know as a fighter, is a wolf for some reason. just a big white wolf.
But from what we can tell, he's not normally a wolf in their version.
Yes,
Like
they seem upset by this.
Or like
We just walked into some huge moment in their lives, and we're just like, "What's up? Where are you?"
Yes. It was
Oh,
initially
amazing.
very confusing because originally Drax Wolf was separated out from the rest of his party. So your Drax, who is not Drax but is Vincent, went up and was like, "Hey guys," but that went okay, but not super well. And it all was made possible. Like they went past traps. Rendor did a lot of sneaking and checking with Tony's abilities and with Rendor's own. It was pretty good. They also became
Wait.
aware. Yes.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said wait.
Oh no, I said sweet. Sorry. It did kind of sound like wait, so my bad.
It's okay. They did sneak past
No, this is
traps.
amazing.
This big black bar here. This is a hallway that fell out from under their feet. And led to.
What?
There was something written in Thieves' Cant along the wall here, which Rendor was able to see after Darius flew him back over to read. And it read, would you care to read it as Tony, Ryan? Since you found it earlier.
Oh, hey, yo, sure.
Thank you.
You see, the time never ends. It's the concept we use to contain and understand progression and regret, yo.
Thank you. And then once these alternate versions of the same characters found each other again, the rogue Taya, who turns out had a similar version of the notebook that y'all had previously seen alternate druid Taya have. She has her own version of that notebook, which she pulled out, and she had scribbled something she'd seen in a vision.
Wait, so this is the third Taya.
This is the third Taya who is a rogue.
Oh, wait. Okay, so I'm a little... Wait, so this is the third Taya. Okay.
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify.
Mhm.
I'm following so far. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes. And then, so she basically
is
had
crazy.
a vision where she wrote out some text that she had seen in a vision somewhat like this place. Only it was written in a language she couldn't read, but Iris, as original Taya, could read it. And it said things along the lines of, the
heck?
truest way to travel through time is to keep progressing forward, because that is where you will always have the most power, versus trying to meddle and go back. So that's where we find ourselves.
Wait, also Pam suddenly reappeared with Gregnut.
Pam
and will
reappeared with
probably now
Gregnut.
Suddenly disappear.
It's a distinct possibility. So, if I recall correctly, the reason you don't see a gray square on screen, which would represent Tony, is because he's hidden. Because one thing that happened is that Wolf Drax, who is this blue oblong shape currently, was guarding a chest behind this door, which Tony successfully picked. He took the artifact out, and then he went and hid, because he's a very high-level rogue, and he doesn't know whether or not these people will continue to be nice after they realize that their
True.
thing is gone that they want.
True.
So,
Okay.
I believe we are about caught up. So, with all this in mind, what would everyone like to do?
I think we were just leaving, right? Or like we were about to leave that little area.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all passed the trap.
Mm-hmm.
So
All
I
right.
would be fine with that.
just follow them, I guess, whoever's leading the pack.
All right. So, Rendor, do you continue to be sneak?
Yes, I continue to, at the best of my abilities, maintain my stealth.
All right. Go ahead and roll another stealth check for me. I think, since you are not around to lead as you typically would, I actually think Cleric Tony is going to step out and try to help be careful, which is kind of funny in retrospect since he should be the rogue but isn't, but he has a similar instinct. So he's going to follow. I think alternate Taya and Drax are going to group up behind him. And then Iris is going to follow. And then I imagine you're with her, and then Pam would be with you, and then Darius, and then Gregnut, and then how about, are the two chips alright to bro out at the back?
Oh yeah. we're broing out hard.
Yes.
We're having a good time in the back.
Yes. Okay. So I think Cleric Tony is gonna. Did I still gave him the accent though, didn't I? He was still like this. He was still the New York boy.
Yeah. It's like they're the same person, but they grew up differently or something.
Yeah. So I know that we need to get a plan of action here, but it doesn't appear as though we have too many options to revert out. So let's just keep going this way. So you all seem to be a bit more familiar with where we are than we are. So any suggestions? He says, continuing to lead, even though he doesn't know where he's going.
Well, this is where we came from, so I guess we just follow this.
What had you seen where you came from before?
I was gonna say I'm growing out in the back, so I'm not really paying attention.
Okay.
I don't hear any of this. I just wanted to make that perfectly clear that the chips are just,
Yes.
they're being really loudly annoying right now.
I need you to describe to me the handshake that y'all come up with.
Oh
some point.
gosh.
I'll give you time to think, but
okay.
I need you to describe it to me at some point.
Okay, I'll
Right.
think of one.
Alright. Boop, 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 boop. It doesn't look... So you guys have to file into a specific area, but I don't want to move these little things around anymore. So you're steadily walking out of this hallway. So, from what I recall, we just woke up here, essentially. I thought that we were getting ready for bed. In an inn room that we had rented, and then suddenly we're here. 23 because reliable talent? Yes, I imagine that's fine. Let me double check passive perceptions real quick for everybody. But I do believe that's going to be fine for you. Sorry.
What?
What was that?
No, you're fine. You're fine, Rendor. Don't worry. It was so close, but you're fine. So Tony begins to detail to you. We just actually found this weird chest that we need to get back to and find somehow. From a strange dealer in the town that we were in. It was offered as the prize of a tournament that we had taken place in, and went to the inn to celebrate a little, recuperate, make sure none of these lovely little handfuls died. You know how it is. And then-
Question for the
Yes?
DM. We don't know. We technically don't know that Rendor has the thing either, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I could get some distance and cast message to Darius because he likes message.
He does like message.
And let him know that,
I
hey,
mean-
yo, Darius.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the thing in the chest. I don't know what it does, but keep it on the DL.
Okay, thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
Is that the end of the conversation?
I think so.
So, Chip,
How D and how L?
Don't let the other set of doppelgangers know. Yo.
Okay. Doppelgangers Prime.
Yeah, actually, I'm a bit confused about which one. The ones that are not us.
Oh, you mean the dead ones?
The other ones that are-
There's just silence after that.
Darius, do you want to roll a sleight of hand check to make sure nobody hears you? I'm not going to do this, but I want to see if Morgana hears you, because you're close to each other in the back there.
Please. Can I roll anything to hear if I
Roll
hear
a
this?
perception check.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Sorry. I need
It's
to get
okay.
this up. Okay, perception is probably... Oh, it's probably better for Chip, I think, actually.
Use your
Yes, it is. All right. I'm going to roll that then.
What the heck?
Dad.
That was not me. Oh, I rolled the 2. Oh, dang, I can't hear it. I'm broing out
Yeah,
really hard right now.
you hear Darius mumbling about something or other, but you've just perfected the like hand up, hand down, hand back up, reverse combo to this handshake, and you like you cannot lose focus.
I wanted to ask if it could start with. I wanted to ask if it could start with the evil handshake, which is like just the very aggressive, but we're still bros kind of thing.
Yes. It can start with that, and then like
Cool.
it devolves into a performance art piece a little bit, but yes.
Perfect. I was thinking of just the back bro. Yeah. You know it.
Yes.
I think we both have a very vivid image in our mind of what that handshake would look like.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Okay. So, Darius, you had the conversation with Rendor. The rest of the group, Tony's basically detailing to you the process that ended them up here. Alternate Taya has gotten a little bit quiet since talking with Iris. Iris is still studying her notebook. And it basically seems like they are... Anybody who... Iris is going to try to roll an intelligence check to try and kind of analyze the description that Tony's giving of what happened to them. If anybody wishes to as well, they may. I think I'm going to do that. I'll do that for Iris, and I'll do that for Pam. Because Pam would be mystery investigating this. Where is... Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'll try. Might as well. And fail.
Can I help?
How are you going to help him understand what he's saying? Okay.
No, I'm gonna help Iris understand.
Oh,
Because
you
she's
want...
going to talk to me.
Okay. Well, she hasn't rolled
Yeah,
yet. Are
I
you
don't need to
intending to
understand.
give her a advantage?
Sure.
Okay. Ooh, Iris's intelligence is better than Taya's. Good for you. All right.
Nice.
So I will describe what it is, and then I want to hear how you describe it to Iris to help her understand it. Okay?
Shoot.
Okay. So she gets a 14, so she still doesn't get it perfectly. So from the way that Tony is describing it, it sounds as though he had previously considered it that his team had just fallen asleep really quickly after getting back to the inn without really realizing it and had been taken here. But something about that doesn't seem right because from the way he was describing it, people had been very boisterous. Chip was in the middle of, doing something loud and bombastic in the bar, making friends with everybody. Taya had been in the middle of sneaking around the edges and playing a nice trick for once of leaving extra spoils in people's bags, etc., etc. They'd actively been doing things and had only just started to head to bed, so them randomly falling asleep wouldn't have made sense. It seems almost as though they were plucked from where they were and placed here. And you're not sure how to reconcile that, but it has to... The way that you understand the situation is that something done by the previous Taya that you had seen, in as much as you understand it now, it must be caused in some way or another by that artifact and by messing with time. So, people plucked out of what they were doing, thrown here. Relating to that artifact.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
So
So I know how I'm going to translate that.
okay.
Okay, so who am I telling it to? Iris,
telling-
right?
You're telling it to Iris. You can also, if you try to express this to the others, you may. It's up to you whether you're sharing it just with her or with the group at large.
No, I'm going to start with Iris first.
Okay.
Okay, so Iris. Or
Yeah?
Taya, sorry.
Yeah. It's a nickname. Yes, what's up?
So they all think that they fell asleep in the bar. But that was, from what I understand, what was going on. I don't think that's true. I think they've just been snatched from where they were to where they are now. Kind of like how we got here to begin with. That's
Yes.
why. That's why when Drax came in and said, "Where have you guys been? I've been sitting in the bar waiting for you." They just thought automatically that's what would happen. So I think if we still follow that rationale and go back the way we came, go back to see where that door is. If it goes back to the bar, we'll see what happens. It'd be like a little loop, a little time loop where we all change just a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Do you mean back to the first door or back to the door they emerged from?
I think back to the first door because they don't know what door they emerged from.
Okay. Alright, folks, it appears we got a bit of a roadblock here. Why is there spikes jutting out of these walls? What'd you do? He turns immediately and looks at both Chips and both Draxes. What'd you do? Come on. Oh. Not you. You're a dog. Like, more than usual. You're not... Calm down. Don't be... Okay. Okay. What is this, and how do we deal with it, is what I'm saying.
This is where we came from. I accidentally tripped the wires because, well, you know, I'm not exactly light on my feet.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at that, but shrugs. Alright, so how do we get past it?
Well, maybe we can just go the other way. Is there another way over to the left?
Make
Or
a
am I
perception...
misreading? Okay.
I too will make a perception check, even though it will probably be.
Go for it.
I take a second to look. 17, not too bad.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is way better than mine.
Okay.
gotta thank Chip because if it was my actual roll, I would have had a 0. So
It's okay.
I would have had negative.
It's alright.
that's true. Yeah.
So you look just kind of around. It seems like more just of the same wall at like a rough glance behind you because you're trying to figure out what's the fastest way. Since you're at the back anyway of Morgana, you take a look and you can see that there is another hallway leading down there to the left. You're not sure what it would lead to, if it would be to another exit or just another windy maze like what you've seen so far. But there's a potential there. You also do recall that part of this party just broke through a wall in the other room, so there's a couple of options.
I say, hey, there's a blah. I keep almost saying a wall, but a hallway down here, and we could also just break through some walls if we wanted to. You did that before.
Suppose we could. You run into any other problems while you've been here? What even is this place?
I don't know exactly.
I think we're going to go back to the bar where we came from, aren't we? And then they should all say, yeah.
Yeah, that bar. Definitely not an island.
Wait, so you were at the bar too, fellow Chip? I knew I liked you. Brofist again.
Of course, yeah, brofist.
Also, this
Definitely not an island.
this shaggy fellow seems to agree, so I have a question. Why does your party have more members than ours? Are we supposed to meet up with a shaggy wizard, a red tiefling lady, and this charming small green man?
Iris?
I think if you're going to keep asking
Yeah.
questions, we're not going to have many answers to most of them. She like looks at you, Darius. It's possible we could get you all back to the bar, but we will have to try. This way does appear to be blocked, so perhaps our best hope is that the hall does lead back to a proper starting point. And she is like looking at you like, I hope you're correct, because she doesn't fully get this.
Can't
Hey,
we
yo.
fly over the spike like we did before?
So this trap that you're looking at right now that was sprung before, it wasn't spikes in a pit. It was parts of the wall shooting out and slamming into the opposite side of the wall. So this is like a bunch of stones jutting out. It doesn't appear to be much room.
Are they all at the same elevation, or is it different elevations?
It's
and
different
stones?
elevations. So it's like,
Boo.
yes. So Rogue Iris
So it
goes,
Walk across, right?
well, no, it seems to be going from floor to ceiling. It would have crushed whoever was standing there. It's like Star Wars Trash Compactor, but with more, with separate pieces. At this, you hear the wolf drax go, "Aww," and Alternatea pats his shoulder and goes, I know, if you had your way, if you weren't stuck as a wolf for some reason, also, you could just turn into an air elemental and then help us figure out the other side.
Can I do that?
Can you not?
True.
Can you?
I don't know.
Okay, that's...
I'm going to try to use my ram ring though.
Okay,
I'm like, everybody stand back.
okay.
And I'm just gonna point it at the wall. And like, come on.
At
Do something.
the wall or at the trap?
The trap.
Okay. So let me look up again what the ram ring does. And while he does that, I think alternate Tony's gonna look around and go, anyone want to tell me why you got extra blue and red and purple folks, but you ain't got one of me? What's up with that?
Well, we got a purple folk. You guys don't have one of them. So
I think he's at the bar.
Is that so?
I think so.
I'm like doing the
Haven't
no
seen him in a while.
like, signal
Oh.
towards we're gonna.
Never mind. I think he's around here somewhere.
Okay.
Probably within the group right now. Chilling. You know how you can be.
All right. So Max, this ring has 3 charges. It regains so many charges at dawn. So you can expend one of its 3 charges to attack one creature you can see within 60 feet. You make an attack roll with a +7 bonus. On a hit, for each charge you spend, the target takes 2d10 force damage and is pushed 5 feet away from you. Alternately, you can spend one of the 3 ring's charges as an action to try and break an object you can see within 60 feet of you that isn't being worn or carried. The ring makes a strength check with a +5 bonus for each charge you spend. So make a strength check with a bonus of +5.
Can I do the wall instead, actually, instead of the trap?
If you want to.
Because I want to see what's back there since we haven't gone there yet.
Okay.
And it might be easier because there's a bunch of like this one's or the trap is thicker. So. Let's see. I actually have a better strength. Stat.
And then that's +5.
I added it into
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
I actually don't know why it's. Did I do +15 on accident?
Yes.
It should just be -5 from that.
-5. So it should be 24.
Mhm.
Okay. So you turn towards this like catty corner wall here and try to blow through it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do so, and this wall definitely busts open in the shape of a comically at the beginning in the shape of a ram's horn, and then some of the bricks crumble away. So let me adjust that. Is this the level I have it on? No, it's not. Layers! Whip. 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 Everyone make a perception check as you see the wall bust open.
Am I within range to do that, or am I too far back hidden?
I'd say that you're in range.
All right.
So bad at rolling today.
It's alright. It's alright. Whip. Oh, wow. So that's a 7, an 11, a 7, a 13. But reliable talent, question mark? So
Yeah,
17.
technically 17. That's proficient. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Are you just gonna be a rogue forever after this? In some capacity?
I love their utility. Like, they're just so.
They're very good.
Versus
I like them.
Okay. So, Rendor, you being hidden, I'd argue that you somehow, like, press yourself kind of up against the ceiling. You're, like, somehow Spider-Man sticking, and you're, like, kind of craning your neck around.
With Rendor's athletics and just kind of like spider myself in the ceiling, just
Yep.
pressure walking along.
Yep.
Warrior style.
So, y'all peek in, a Rendor hanging above you from the ceiling, concealed, peeks in as well. Written on the ground in oversized, kind of mangled letters, you see Draconic Scrawl, which I will rotate this way so that we can actually read it. You also see a faintly glowing... Oh, heavens to Betsy. Faintly blue glowing pond-looking thing in the corner. Other than that, it just expands into a larger room, similar to the style that you've seen before. It seems to match with the ducks and turns of the hallway that you were in previously when you first fought the original doppelgangers.
What?
What?
They teleported away earlier, didn't they?
Yeah, but they're not in there, right?
They're
It's
not
just
in
where
there.
we were?
It's just the opposite side of where you
Ruh-roh.
were. So you were in this hallway before. This room is what's opposite of that hallway here and on the opposite of these rooms. So this is the room where Pam and Gregna appeared, and this is the opposite wall of it. Yeah. Does anybody read Draconic?
Wait. Oh no, never mind. That's
let me
me.
check.
Forget it.
Oh wait, Drax does.
He does?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, let me double check.
Sweet.
Human, Draconic, and Orc.
Iris does not. Taya does not. Chip does not. Tony does not. Drax does.
I'm just gonna
Darius
press
does
this.
not.
Okay, I just wanted to see.
Darius doesn't. Let
Nope,
me
he does
see.
not.
Let me check Pam. Pam might as well. Nope, she does
Well,
not.
good. That'll do it.
Come on, I can RP Pam for 5 seconds. Hold on. Darius, why do you gotta... And then that's gonna be me, and I will pause the RPing of Pam. So, Drax, what was your perception? 7. Okay. So you can see that there is writing on the floor. There is a weird blue glow from in there, but you can't see too much beyond that before you all venture into the room further.
No one. Does anyone want to, like, point it out to the group?
Well, I think that worked. That is a place we haven't been before, at least.
I'm gonna go over to the glowing blue lake, or whatever it is. Did you
Why
say it
don't
was
you read
water?
the floor
or-
first?
I apparently didn't notice the floor.
You saw there was stuff written on the
Hmm.
floor, but you didn't actively read it, is what I meant.
Okay, I'll try to read it first then.
Okay. So you are... Which one? You are this one. So you come in here. Make another perception check for me. Because it's written weirdly. It's like big and scrawled out. Oh, beans.
Oh my gosh.
8 cents of cash now. 8 cents of cash now.
Okay, so You can tell it's draconic, but it's also so it's very strange. The letters almost look like they're melting. Like, actually, instead of what did I have you roll? Perception.
Yeah.
Roll just an intelligence check for me. Rendor, are you still hiding?
Can I help him?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you can't.
No.
Darius, if you come in further and stand next to him, I'll let you make an intelligence check to help him figure out why it's hard to read.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is anybody in either of the parties a monk?
No, currently.
Dang.
Ashoka is back on the boat and is made of wood, unfortunately.
Dang.
Also,
Kind of
that
like
applies
think myself,
to
I'm like,
to
we could really use this joker right now.
yes, but the many
Yeah.
languages thing occurs more to hearing the language. But in any case, so Darius, you don't know what letters these are or what language this is, but you can tell. Oh, this is real weird because clearly whoever wrote it was laying on the ground when they did it. It's like spread out, super weird. It's like distorted. It's like someone was reaching up with their arm and kind of pulling themselves across the stones as they did so.
Can I use
Okay.
that to try to have advantage?
Darius, do you
So
inform
you
him
got
of
to think
this?
somebody was laying on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
maybe with their last breath or something, trying to write something.
Mm-hmm.
Who the killer was, or what the mystery is.
Hmm.
So, with that information, what do you do?
I'm gonna look at the wolf tracks and be like, I know you can't speak, but can you somehow try to tell us what this says?
The wolf. I'll roll an intelligence check for Wolf Drax real quick.
Come on, puppy.
He licks the side of your face.
I can't believe I'm only as intelligent as a wolf version. No.
Hold on. Rogue Taya steps in and she's gonna. So, you said they were laying on the ground, right?
Yes.
Come on. Oh, please don't.
Oh.
She thinks for a second. Well, I don't get it. Other me, you figured out my thing. Can you? Okay, I'm coming. Hold on. Iris comes over.
Come on, Iris, please.
She looks at the ground, looks at Darius, looks at you, sighs, and then lays on the ground and drags you to lay on the ground with her. Roll with advantage to see what the heck this says, because now you're laying at the angle that you could be able to see it from.
It's perception, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you here, I'll type it to you so you can read it in your Drax voice. Hold on. Let me do it with my
attempt at a general UK accent.
yes.
Suspense. I can read it now, but my Vincent mentality is kicking in, and I'm just like, what is language?
Yes. How do I process written word?
So it's taking me like 20 minutes to be like, carry the 3.
So there's more letters than you originally thought as well. It appears to kind of span the entire space from where you enter this room to that first corner past that blue pool.
Oh, wow. Also, this is unrelated and definitely too late now. But when I was talking about breaking the wall open, I was actually talking about the one right here. Like if you went left instead of right to the chest.
Okay, I see.
But
I
that
apologize.
was something I was using to fill the time. It's okay. It says, "This chaos is greater even than what you know. I don't know how, but help her stop the cycle. Please, help her. I don't know how many of us have died. Let time move. We die."
Alternate Taya leaves. Iris is frozen on the ground next to you. How do the rest of you process this information? Also, Rendor, are you still hiding, or are you now feeling like playing hot potato with that artifact that you got there, bud?
I'm just like, I told you, Iris. Just let me die.
She, like, in the first act of physical violence you've ever seen Iris do in her life, she smacks you on the arm.
Ow.
It does not hurt.
Can you
She's
type
not
that in the
strong.
chat? What it just
I'd
said?
say ow anyway, even though it didn't.
Yes, I will put it in the chat, and I will correct my misspelling while I do it. So, make another general intelligence check for me, Vincent. / Harrison /
Well, if it was Harrison, I would be doing a lot better.
If you were Harrison, you would have figured this out by now.
Yeah. Are you
Come on! Seems dreary.
Chaos roll? No, I'm not
Are
doing
you
the
gonna?
chaos roll.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna roll an insight check or an intelligence check for Tony. Does anybody else wish to progress further or do anything to aid to figure out what's going on here? Are you still just broing out with other Chip?
Yes.
Okay. So this is for Cleric Tony. You can read that? That looks like garbage to me. Look at this handwriting. They never would have accepted this in my seminary. It's not a seminary. That made me laugh too much. Okay. Iris is gonna roll an intelligence check. Come on, someone have a single brain cell. I beg of you. Thank you. Well, you can't tell what this is supposed to mean for you at large, but you can tell that her face goes very pale, and she has a look on her face that tell you the same look on her face whenever she realizes something she doesn't like.
Can Darius try to roll too?
Yeah,
'Cause
Darius,
I feel like you'll
roll an intelligence check, please.
Iris is biased.
Okay.
Iris is in shock. Darius will say words, but Iris might struggle. All right. So, Darius, you know how to put 2 and 2 together. You know how to deduce things. Of the party that you're currently with, only one member was able to read Draconic. Ergo, in the party that currently exists, both among these people, among the versions that once were, that you defeated, and amongst yourselves now, there is also only one person who could write Draconic. So that means either there is someone else in this dungeon, or who had been in this dungeon who had written out Draconic, or these words came from Drax somehow. You don't know which Drax, you don't know what Drax, you don't know when Drax, but Drax somehow.
Well, I know it's not my Drax, right?
Correct. Because you have been with your Drax since he became Drax. Go ahead, Rendor.
So it's the Drax that we defeated, or it's the Drax that's the wolf?
Or it's another Drax entirely, is what I'm
Oh
thinking.
gosh. Okay.
And this cycle has been going on for longer
Damn it,
than
man.
we know.
So yes, Darius, that's what you put together. There's concerning to horrifying implications, especially considering the text of the message, which again is in. I can't believe you put the hug emoji on that in Discord. That's not a very.
Didn't even see that.
Just to repeat again. Pardon me. This chaos is greater even than what you know. I don't know how to help her stop the cycle. I don't know how, but help her stop the cycle. Please help her. I don't know how many of us have died. Let time move. We die.
Wait, is that like conditional? Like, let time move, that will make us dead? Or like, if you don't let time move, we will die? It's like a command? Let time move, or we'll die. Is it and or? Which is it?
I think he's like saying it's inevitable, like we die, like that's just the end of it, and to just let time move because we just have to or like they have to accept that as a fact,
But
or
then
at least
how do
that's
we,
what I got from it.
what's the point of help?
So an and
Who's her?
or I'm
Maybe
so
maybe next time it happens, you can change what they say or what they write. Damn it! I meant
I
let
meant to
time
write.
move, or else we'll die. Or that's
I kind
try
of
to straighten this out.
Everyone dies, and then
Next
we'll
time.
know.
I look over to the wolf tracks and see if he kind of has the same kind of understanding.
So you read that out loud for the whole party, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to roll another intelligence check for Wolf Drax to see if he processes that. Well, Darius, do you say that understanding out loud? Or is this all in your head?
No, I talk to the people. I'm just
Okay.
saying,
So
I hear them say that.
Okay. He doesn't quite comprehend it, but he does not look happy. His tail is like drooped. He actually looks like he wants to go after alternate Taya, who went away as soon as you said that out loud.
Then I'm just like, you should go.
He walks off. She's like stuck herself in a corner and has her head between her knees. She's not okay with this. Pam actually comes up behind you as you stand back up with Iris and goes, "So, can we get out of here, like, now? How did you all even get in here? Why did you make this choice? Why?"
I look over to the pool of water,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just kind of like,
Okay, you're doing that thing where you look like you're thinking really hard, but okay. We need to figure this out. We can't just stand here.
Who is her?
So, Wolf Buddy, come here, buddy. Did you write this?
He shakes his big wolfy head no.
Do you understand it?
He shakes his big wolfy head no.
Okay. Enough said. Come here, boy. Give me a hand rub. There you go.
He appreciates it. He goes back and he puts his whole neck. She has her head between her knees, and so he puts his whole head on top of the back of her neck, in like a "I am here" gesture. Are you still alternate? Tony also looks a little bit. Oh no, he doesn't get it either. So is this the way we're gonna go, or in your adventures so far, have you found that creepy written words on the ground that talk about time and death are good to move past, or good to interact with? What do you think?
I think we're going to let time move. So let's let time move.
Time has been moving, my man. I don't know what to
as
tell
they're
you.
talking, I'm gonna walk over to the pool of water or the blue glowing stuff.
All right. Real quick, just roll a straight d20 for me.
Okay.
lay down and take a rest, let some time move.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm so bad at rolling today. What is happening?
Hold on 1 second. Hup. Hup, ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. You walk directly... That was a luck roll, by the by. You walk directly onto one of these,
Great.
and roll a dexterity saving throw for me.
Who has better dexterity saving throws?
I am not
Jax
sure.
by 1.
What?
You want dexterity?
Yes.
Dexterity?
For Vincent, none of the rest of y'all are affected by this thus far.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Wait, let me just look at Drax's stuff. Because this one, on dex against effects that you can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated. I'm assuming I can't see this, though?
Say that again, sorry?
It says, I don't know what it's from, but it says advantage on dex against effects that you can see while not blinded, deafened, or incapacitated.
Okay, so that's for magical effects more so than traps. This is in response to something changing in your environment.
Okay. It also says +1 bonus on saves. Is that already accounted for in the roll?
It should be in the bonus that you get.
Okay. So it's accounted for in the numbers that are
I
already
believe
there.
so. Yes, it should be. Okay. 13. So you're able
I have
to...
my thing that... Oh, if I don't succeed, I have my thing that will let me re-roll it, but I'll let
Yes,
you
so you succeed in that you don't get crushed, but you are on the opposite side of a big black slate wall that slams into the ground behind you, leaving you now isolated with this pool with a depressed button here. This one. This one. This is the one that has been depressed.
Noted.
Give
Yes.
it a Xanax.
Okay. So now you're cut off from your friends. Pam immediately runs over and starts banging on the wall.
I'm just like, I'm okay. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm okay.
Why did you not look at the ground?
I did. I didn't see the button.
Ah! All right. Alternate Tony is also going to come over. We'll try to figure out the way to get you out, I guess. Heavens to Betsy, this place is a mess. He's going to do an investigation check.
Okay.
What would anybody else like to be doing? We still are looking for ways out of here and now to deal with this new situation. Also, Vincent, what else are you doing with the pool?
I'm just gonna examine it.
Roll an investigation check.
Okay.
It looks like it's liquid. It's glowing kind of weird. Do you touch it at all?
Not yet. I just
Okay.
look at it to see if there's anything in it or anything wrong with it.
When you look in it, you do not see a reflection.
What?
Oh.
Are you still hiding, Rendor?
I'm gonna do a wisdom check and tell you if it's good.
I love it.
Well, actually, you can see. I was going to my phone to do the roll like I normally do. All right, so I think Render's the one who's good at that, so Render will be the wise. Oh, he's the one who's good. All right, here it is. And you tell me, because I don't know.
Okay.
Oh. Man.
Step out into the light. No, I'm kidding.
I will let you decide at this point whether you think which is more unwise in your mind. to hand back the artifact immediately because you want nothing to do with it, or to take the artifact out of your bag and just kind of either mess with it or chuck it away from you.
I feel like messing with it would be the dumbest thing.
Do you do so?
Yeah, because I rolled a 4.
Okay. I would like you to roll. Okay, so you pull the artifact out. It's this weird clock face with hands that you can move. You can see it is actively ticking.
Oh gosh.
From what you saw before Taya do, you saw what she had done before, right? Or was it just because you were the one hiding, so you were
Yeah, I was
the
hiding.
one saw her.
Yeah.
So you remember what she did? She basically took the clock and spun it backwards.
Okay, I do that.
Oh,
Make an Arcana check for me.
Wait, is it possible for me to try to... I was going to try to call out Terendor anyway. Is it possible for me to try to call out Terendor before he does this?
You make me a luck roll as well.
Okay.
Both that you do it before he touches it, and that you're able to be heard past this big wall now to wherever he is hiding. So that's a 5. So on some instinct, some gut animal instinct, you turn back and call, Rendor! And you don't hear anything.
Well, I also... This doesn't really matter because no one's going to hear it anyway, but I was going to call out to him anyway and tell him to not let Taya have it at any cost.
Okay.
So I say that even though no one can hear me.
Okay.
So when the wall slams down,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start messaging him. Hey, are you okay over there? What's going on?
Okay.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just fiddling with this device. I'm going to see how it works.
Okay. So Rendor does do the thing because he's rolled, and the subsequent rolls have failed to keep him from doing the thing. Darius, I think you also meant to message Vincent, but unfortunately, message cannot be heard through 1 foot of rock, which is what this is.
Dun dun.
So, Rendor, you got a 7 on your Arcana check. Fully don't know what this thing is about, but like it's the spinner in a frickin' what's it called? In any late 90s party game. Like it's the spinner in Twister, you just kind of flick it.
Uh-oh.
I want
Oh no.
everybody to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god.
The
Okay.
tables have turned. Usually Rendor has to make the wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
Okay. 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 Nice. Nice. Okay. Nice!
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
gosh, you're all doing so good!
Yeah. Luckily, Chip has +8 to his wisdom saving throw.
Nice.
Alright, Rendor, I need your wisdom save as well.
Okay, I don't even. Okay, my wisdom.
Come on, Randor.
Tony, no, Tony's even worse. Okay, well, there we found the thing he's bad at.
Oh,
Oh no.
well, if you get under a 10, you can...
Okay.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
okay, that
Okay.
was +0 on that.
Alright. So, if you'll pardon me for just a moment, how do I re-fog of war something? Okay. Give me one moment. So, you don't hear anything per se, but you get this weird feeling like a twisting in your stomach. And it's strange because you could have sworn just a moment ago you were somewhere else, you were doing something else. No, Vorgana, you're absolutely certain you have like this shocking moment of clarity of how many levels deep of a different reality you are, but somehow are still able to hold on to it. You are Veronica, who is Vorgana, who is Chip, who is talking to another Chip. That is what you were and what you just were doing. But now you are somewhere else. And you don't know why, but you don't like it. But thankfully,
Oh god.
okay. Vincent, you're not quite as clear, but you know that you were just stuck behind a wall near a pool.
Yes.
And you are no longer there. But Vorgana is next to you, you think?
What the
Because Vorgana was the last paladin chip you saw. And Darius, you're right by your students,
Oh,
so
gosh.
that's good. But Rendor, you've been missing for so long that you're a little bit confused. Because just a second ago, you were Rendor, who's maybe someone else, but it right now is Tony. But the Tony that you are now feels different from who you thought you were just a second ago, because you look down and you're not wearing the dark clothes. Now what you're wearing is very weird. You have like a focus and hold on one second. Hold on. You have like a focus and a staff and billowy robes that are colorful, and what is happening? But no, this is the Tony that you were. This is definitely the Tony that you were. It's fine. It's fine. This is the Tony that you were. You were always this version of Tony. Hold on.
Still green?
Your hands are still green. You are still a goblin. But
am I by chance a wolf now?
you are not a wolf.
Oh, okay.
The disappointment.
Yes. However, the environment you are all in is ever so slightly different. And allow me to illuminate that for you right now. Alright. Reveal areas. Bam! Wait. Let's get on the correct layer, shall we? Bam? No. Reveal areas. Bam. Wait.
That
Wait.
worked, I think.
How did I get over there?
You are now in a somewhat similar area, but not quite. You are all of you next to a slightly similar pool, but you see no Pam, you see no Gregnut, you see no alternate Taya, you see no alternate Chip, which is devastating. You see no alternate Tony. But the three of you look at this new Tony and realize you're all the same versions of the people that you just were, as weird as that already is. But now you're looking down and the Tony that's there with you isn't Cleric Tony and isn't a rogue.
What?
He looks kind of like Darius.
Am I a wizard?
You are a wizard. So for
Yes!
the purposes of this,
Ooh,
I don't
nice.
have an active wizard Tony sheet. Just go on Roll20 and use Darius's sheet because he is a wizard. So there you go. Not as cleanly made, but yes, you are Wizard Tony now.
How to actually do that?
So if you're on Roll20 on your computer, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you go to the third tab up top on the right, it should show you characters, and then handouts, and then you can go to.
Hang on. In the game, right?
Yes.
Third tab on the right with the chat, journal, compendium, jukebox, collection, settings.
I am also sending you a screenshot.
It
Okay,
should be in
thank
the
you.
journal, right? Or...
I'm not sure what the tab is
Sure, that's
called.
it.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that on. Let me just make sure. It's called. Oh, okay. I see.
So the race is slightly different because you're a goblin, but everything else can be the same.
It
Question.
would seem as though I don't have access.
How do I fix that? Hold on. Show to players.
I have built generic wizards on D&D Beyond if you want. That's easier.
I can.
It should. It doesn't fill up. Maybe perhaps because it's not my character, I can't look at it.
I'm hitting a button that says show to players. Does that help?
Let me
I think
refresh.
it popped up on my screen.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
when you do that, it shows up.
So I
But
say
not
show
the
to
character.
players, and now Darius is up there. If you double click that little grayed out zone up there, that should be available to you to see. It will not give you his full spell list, unfortunately. But
For me, when you did
But
that,
you can
it
ask me,
popped
I'll
up
tell
on.
you.
yeah. When you did what, Max?
When you clicked show to players, it pops up on my screen, but I can't access the character sheet specifically.
It just says bio and info and then nothing.
Yeah,
Oh.
like it doesn't have the tab for character sheet or attributes and abilities.
How do I fix that? Edit? No. In players' journals, all players can be edited and controlled by Rendor. Save changes. Try it now.
Nice.
Okay.
We're learning on the fly. We're learning on the fly.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I can see the character sheet.
Mm-hmm. And if you need to double check any further spells, I trust both your knowledge of wizard things and you can ask Dad. He has a physical, real life notebook that he uses with all of his spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
Rod of
I have a question. We see that he's now a wizard, but do we notice whether he still has the time artifact or not?
you do not see it in his hands.
Hmm.
So you are once again on your own volition, down a couple party members, down some friendly faces, down a wolf. What would you all like to do? Also, I realize that this is not visible and I should fix that because you did get teleported to so many layers. Yep. You think I would be better with layers considering I work in a program that uses them every day. But a similar blue glowing pool exists in this room, in this corner.
Ah. Like a touchstone. Like that lady in Outlander.
Potentially.
So I'm thinking, let's all jump in the pool, see where we go.
I'm not sure that's such a good idea.
As a player, I'm like, yes.
I mean, we don't know where our friends went, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're probably wondering where we went.
Does anyone know what just happened? Why are we all here all of a sudden? Last thing I know, I was just in there on my own.
Well, somebody spun the object.
Who had it last? I just remembered that Vincent didn't know, even though I looked to see if he had it.
Mm-hmm. So, you remember what just happened, Rendor, but you are convinced that you have been Wizard Tony this whole time.
Nah.
It's
Hey,
a
I
bit
don't know what
weird.
you were talking about.
Yes.
Strange. Is this a doorway right here? Like, is this an open space or is it like a door?
That's an open space.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna walk out a little bit then and kind of see what I can see.
You want another? Make a quick perception check.
I don't know if anyone else wants to also make a perception check. Just in case.
Yeah, I can.
Go for it, both of y'alls.
Well,
Sweet.
you know,
Just to see.
I heard you blaming that on me this morning.
Dad?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, oof.
So
Maybe
we're
we
gonna.
shouldn't jump in the pool.
Okay. So for Ghana, you're able to see this. It's a long hallway that leads out into a larger area, and down this way is a door. For some reason, Darius, you have decided to continue to look at the pool because you're tired of all this shenanigans. Also, where's Iris? And no. No to all of this is how you feel currently.
Where is everyone? What's going on? Does anyone see Iris?
Iris?
You do not hear a response from Iris. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I accidentally zoomed in my browser screen,
No
and I do not know
I was
how.
gonna say, like, I start to, like, almost call out for Iris, and then I stop myself because I'm like, I don't know
Who's
what's
around?
out there.
You don't know what reality
Yeah.
you're trying to keep up. If you want, make a performance roll to try to be heard from wherever she is, unless you decide not to go through with that.
I won't. I realize, like, no, that's probably a bad idea.
I'm gonna throw caution to the wind, and I'm just gonna jump into the water as Darius is looking
Yes?
at
Ooh.
it. Yeah.
Okay. So, Vincent rushes forward as Drax pops into the water. And then, a moment later... Hold on. Hup. 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 Hold on, I'm cleaning up some things. Hup. 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 A moment later... Whip. You find yourself standing in the other pool.
Whoa. Wait, is the wall still there?
One moment. Flip. Here we go. Where is my buttons? There they are. Boop.
Where
wall.
are my buttons?
The wall has not been broken through.
And the trap hasn't been tripped either.
Correct.
Interesting. Can I go back through?
You step out of the pool and you hop back into it,
Yeah.
and you do find yourself back here.
It's a teleport pool.
I look
Ooh,
out to everyone and I'm
nice.
like, hop in, the water's fine. And I like go back in.
I do so.
I'll jump in.
All right. Whip.
Also,
Wait.
I try to stop anyone who comes out just to like be cautious of the traps because I remember tripping them in the
Yes.
in the prior version.
All right. Darius, do you also go to the pool?
Yep.
All right. I'm just going to redraw you because I put your other one on the wrong layer. Whip. There you are. So you find yourselves in the old room that you were in again, but the wall is not broken through, and the trap is not tripped, and you do not see the alternate versions of yourselves that you had previously been dealing with.
Is the writing still there?
The writing is still on the ground.
Hmm. Interesting.
But we're we're in the wall with the pond, so nobody can see us anyway, right?
You don't think anyone can see you right now based on what you've seen of this room before. You can't currently tell if there's anybody else. Does everybody want to make a perception check?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
Sure.
Okay.
Where'd my
Sure.
dice go?
Yeah.
Gotta make a better one than last time.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
I've
Oh, so
luckily
I've
been doing okay, but
perception now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
nope. Y'all got this. Ooh, nice. Good work.
So Vincent got
Actually, all
it.
the weapons.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. You saved us.
Okay, so Vincent, it feels like that dip in the water cleared your head, while the rest of you're still spinning a little bit from having gone through it. But for some reason, it was easier for Vincent to adjust to teleporting like that. So you make a quick perception check. You can't actively tell if there's anybody else around you. You know that this room extends this way, and you're kind of wander out a little bit. You're able to avoid the traps now that you know that they're there, and you're a little bit more on guard, just in general. But the draconic scrawl is still there. It's something that was kind of like almost etched into the floor a little. So it remains, but nothing else seems to be the same as it was that you saw before.
Okay, can we chop through that south wall and just go around that black marble thing that slid down and sealed us off?
Do you mean to this other side of the pool? Like
Yeah.
this? Or here?
I don't see where you are.
You are this purple boy. I make you brighter, purple boy.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so where's that wall that came down on the other side of the traps?
Mm-hmm.
Is that still there?
No, it's not,
Oh,
because the
okay,
trap
so
has not
it's-
been sprung.
Traps. Are they arcanic or are they mechanical?
Do you want to do an investigation check?
Yeah, is Darius good at that?
He is actually. I think he has a +9.
What is it? Intelligence?
Investigation.
Investi-
Render is doing investigation. You can investigate that wall as well, Darius, if you want to figure out what it would take to get through it to get back out to the hallway. All right. So if they had been arcanic, you would have had a harder time, Rendor, but it does appear that these are primarily mechanical traps, and there's a few of them in a row, perhaps to stop people from getting to the pool, that you're not quite sure about. Darius, you imagine this wall is of the similar make as the one that Vincent had charged through before with his ring, whatever that ring was, so you imagine the same thing would work here.
Well, then why don't we go through this wall here that I'm right next to? So we don't even have to worry about the traps. Because we're headed back to the original bar, right? Which was down this hall.
There's still the falling trap, though, right? Unless I'm misunderstanding.
Well, you don't know. You haven't been out in the hallway yet.
True. We could also keep exploring the other side of the pool since we haven't been there yet. But I don't know.
Actually, let me rehide all the things. Let me rehide all the things.
Where do you think Iris would go if she got split up from the group?
I don't know. I am not sure. I don't even know really where we're at technically.
I was gonna say Darius or Endor could try to message her, but I think the walls are probably too thick. You
Oh,
could try to use
Possibly, yes.
the other one though, the longer ranged one.
I believe you're
I forget
thinking
what
of
it's called.
sending, and the person who has
Yes.
that is Pam.
I thought Darius had sending, and from extension, Rendor or Tony would also have sending.
Do you
Like,
have
if you're-
sending? Darius? Is it in your notebook, Dad?
I'm looking. I don't see sending.
Okay.
Dang, I swear they've used sending before. Maybe I'm just misremembering.
Of course, the four of you alone in this strange small room.
Wait.
What?
Yes, I do. I do have sending.
Okay.
No.
I think we purchased that a ways back.
Does
Yes.
that go through
It
stone
does.
walls?
It does. But it has a limit of 25 words.
Oh, now I remember.
Yes. So that means that both Darius and Wizard Tony do have it.
okay.
So, who wants to message who and what do they want to say? Or
Yeah.
send to? Yes.
Who do you want me to call?
Try to
Who
see
you
if
gonna
can
call?
find where Iris is.
Iris. All right. Well, see, the thing is, I'm looking at my spells, and I don't know how. Like, I only see my cantrips. Any other spell is not showing up. So, does anyone know what level that is, and if it
Sending is level
Sending
3.
is the level 3.
level 3? Yeah, I can't see level 3 spells. Does that mean I have no slots left? Is that why?
No, it's because we never put it on this one because I gave him the physical notebook for Christmas. I'm sending you the
I
spell right now. There you go. There's sending. Takes an
This is-
action case.
This is in Discord.
Yes, it is.
And then I'll mark off a slot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I say a thing.
Yes.
From 25, and it goes anywhere distance, even to another plane of existence.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
But there's a 5% chance it won't work. Okay, I'm guessing that's a 1 on a d20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is all right. I'm not going to rehearse it. I'm just going to go.
Okay.
Well, wait. What do you want me to say?
Just ask.
Iris, where did you go?
Okay.
We're in the room with the tell her we're in the room with the water pool and ask where she is in relation to that as best as you can.
All right.
Within 25 minutes. obviously.
I do whatever sending does, and I
Uh-huh.
cast it, and I go, "Hey, Iris, this is Rendor Tony. Where you at? We're in the room with the pool. You can reply to this message."
Okay. You have 3 words left. You good?
Okay, bye.
All right. There's a little pause, and then in the back of your head you hear, "Hi, Rendor. I don't know where I am, but I think I found where we need to take the artifact."
Oh crap! I lost it too.
No.
Can you send her another thing, say asking if she has it?
I'll try to find
there's
you.
Okay,
And that's the end of what she can say.
I'll try to find. Hey, yo, we could just sit tight. She's gonna try to find us. She thinks she knows how to get out of here. But hey, the problem is I don't have the thing that does this anymore. So, and also, hey, I'm a wizard. But
Did-
I've always been a wizard.
Uh-oh.
So that's actually normal.
are you the one who used it?
Yes? Question mark.
You think so, but you don't quite remember doing it. It's like you remember it in your hands, you remember flicking it. It's weird. Your brain is trying to reconcile two different realities right now.
Gotcha.
You have to try to remember
Just
where
two?
you found it.
Actually, roll a history check for me, Wizard Tony.
Okay, hang on. All right, what's his? Back to core. History is not a mystery. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So, you recall, well, the story that you recall is different than the last alternate that showed up. You weren't in a bar before this. You were actually studying in a tower for a long time. But that seems to be also spliced with something else. There's like this journey that you went on from your home across a place that had been torn up by war that you avoided, and then you learned some weird things and made some friends in Zindar, and that's where you studied for a little while. But then you only very recently started to meet these people and that have been hanging around this town for a little bit. There's this red-haired woman and this guy with weird markings under his eyes. You're not too sure about them yet, but you went home to learn a few more of your new spells and get going on your own because you've gotten this far on your own so far, and then you were suddenly here.
Oh, okay. So I have an entirely different Tony history.
Yes.
Well, Rendor is confused,
Yes.
but Tony is Okay.
I
All
also okay. Okay. I want you also to roll a d6 for me.
Okay. D6. Oh, that was. Oh, that worked. Nice.
Okay.
I didn't add it. Okay.
There's something inherently frustrating about this down to your gut. And the fact that you don't know why it's frustrating makes it worse. But yes. Okay. So yeah, when you think back to it, the last thing you remember was running into this slightly odd group of people, but the red-haired woman seemed kind, at least, and didn't make fun of your voice, and the big guy with the muscles seemed okay, and the dude with the white hair seemed quiet, but they were going to go their way, you were going to go yours. You went home, but now you're here. But you also know that you're Rendor, and these are those people, except for Darius, who you do feel a little bit of a closer kinship to now. Like, I understand you.
All right. Cool. I'm gonna mark off my spell slot. Wait, that'll mess with Darius's, huh? I'll just write it down.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, we have to find the artifact before Iris does.
Why?
Because we can't let her use it. Remember what other Drax said? If things keep going like this, Iris, or rather Taya, will keep trying to revive me every time I die, and we can't let that happen.
Yeah, but Iris's message was she knows where to take it. Doesn't mean she knows what's. Not, she doesn't mean she's going to use it. She knows where to take it back.
We can't take that risk. We can't let her know that we have it. If we do find it.
Okay.
Did anyone else see where Rendor went when he found the artifact?
Can I try to roll something to see if I remember?
Yes. Go ahead and roll either a history. Roll a history check to remember.
Okay.
Okay.
Boom.
Dang,
So-
nice.
So you already miss alternate Chip dearly. So the circumstances in which you remember coming upon him was out of this room, the area that you had previously entered this room through, down that long hallway to the right, past the trap, there had been 2 rooms. One to the left with a door that was opened in that once had Wolf Drax and the box that had the artifact in it. Behind the other door, which had been a set of doors plastered over, was the rest of alternate Drax's party, which included Rogue Taya, Cleric Tony, and your beloved Barbarian Chip, who is no longer with you, unfortunately. But such is life. But it was down this hallway to the right and then to the left.
Okay. Can I reiterate that or
Yes.
explain that?
You got
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm bad with directions, but
It's okay.
yeah.
You get it. You're able to say it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Once Chip says that, I just immediately go that way and start trying to get to it.
Okay.
And I follow.
Okay, so not going this way, going this way. So the thing is, you're surrounded by
where-
walls now.
hmm
Darius was still talking about getting out over here. Rendor, which way do you go? Do you go to the right to try to get out with Darius, or to the left to try to get out with Chip and Drax?
Think Rendor BRB. Unless...
Let me see.
Yeah.
Apologies. Well, Darius, do you change directions to go with Morgana and Drax?
Didn't Iris say to hold on? She was going to come find us.
She said, I'll try to find you.
Well,
Might
I
be-
mean, we do need to find the artifact.
Yeah. If you and Rendor stay here, we'll be back in a second.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. How many of us are there?
Right now, there's
Is
just
there
the 4
4
of you.
Yeah.
There's Drax, Morgana, you, and Rendor. It's the smallest the party's ever been.
Yeah,
It's the most
true.
split up we've ever been. It pisses me off.
Surprisingly.
Damn it, Pam.
We can yell for you. I mean,
Yeah, I'll stay here.
Don't forget, you also have your things that you can do. That only you can do.
That only I can do.
So I'm gonna try to go to the point that I would think best would like lead me to where the artifact was the best.
Okay, so you're gonna have to break through this wall in some area.
Okay.
Where do you want to do that?
My real person version of me thinks over here because
Uh-huh.
that's where I remember the direction I remember it being, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't think Vincent or Drax would know that. So,
Uh-huh.
but would I be able to make like an intelligence roll or something based on
Sure.
what
Make an intelligence check.
Chip said? Okay.
In
No, I
fact,
have
make it
great
with
intelligence.
advantage, since Morgana got a natural 20 on that history.
I'll
Yeah.
try.
yeah, nice.
Did I get it all?
You got
Okay.
this. All right. Not bad. Not bad.
Nice. Okay. So you
Also
are able to
think the advantage.
you are
Yes.
able to
Yeah.
figure what you in real life would also do, which is that this wall over there. I'll say with an 18, there's also a thing in the back of your head that's like, there were traps in this other area of this room. I should maybe be careful.
Okay.
So, what do you do?
All right. So yeah, I go to that wall, and I'll try to use. Should I use the ram again? I'll just.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, both of you roll straight d20s for me.
Okay.
Okay. So Morgana, you give me this.
Oh no. It looks like a box cable disconnected.
Okay. Okay. So earlier, Rendor, I was asking if you were going to try to stay behind with Darius or move forward. So Drax and Chip are basically going to try to find the artifact before Iris gets back to try and keep it away from her.
Oh, I'll try to help. Does Darius have a locate object spell?
Darius?
Hold on. I don't think so.
Pam does.
Yeah, I know Pam does. I don't.
Okay. All right.
Also, I just rolled my luck, and also I'm back.
Okay. So good luck for you then.
I'll go back and look where I was hiding earlier when I was messing with the time device.
Oh.
Okay. So in order to do that, so these two are going to break through this wall here. You're going to use the
Okay.
Rams thing, Vincent.
Sure. I only
Okay.
have 3 uses, but I might as well.
Well, actually, you go to look at it, and it acts as though you have not used it at all.
Oh, cool. So I'll use it then.
Yes. One quick thing. Give me this. Come here, please. Sorry,
I have Dimension Door.
Yes, you do.
Ooh.
That's a cool spell.
Yeah.
That's a very useful spell.
Especially when you
I
want to
also-
get away from enemies.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also have Telekinesis too.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's a really good offensive spell, especially if you can hide.
Ooh.
I
So
thought I just could move stuff.
Yeah, but if you hide behind a wall, you can grab someone with your mind and just hide and just smash them into the ground over and over again. And if no one can see you to shoot at you, you won't lose concentration. Just keep beating them against the floor.
Jeez.
ladies and
Cool.
gentlemen, a regular D&D player. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. Okay. So
Sounds like it beats the hell out of a cloud of daggers.
it depends. It depends. So the luck you two rolled was to see if you avoided the traps that you had slightly remembered that you should look for, but you both got above a 16, so you're fine.
Oh,
and you
geez.
did realize as you walked between them that there were more pressure plates there. But go ahead and roll for the use of your ram's horn. And Morgana, if you want to punch the wall just to add to it, go for it.
All right.
Can I
Yeah,
firebolt
sounds good
the
to me.
wall as these punches?
Sure, if you want. You want to run out and yes, go
Do
for it.
it.
Firebolt just because it's a
Wait,
cool
so do I
name.
need to roll a strength?
Yes, a strength check for
Okay.
you, or an attack with a weapon if you prefer to smash.
Oh, well. Hopefully it looks cool with the fireball, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just going, Very weak. Very weak punch. How about I punch and then I try to make sure that no one saw me and then I pull out my weapon?
Roll a sleight of
You
hand
may
check and
have
then do so. Do
Okay,
a sleight
here
of
we
hand
go.
check to see.
Oh god. Is Chip's sleight of hand better? Hold on.
So unfortunately,
It's +0, so I'll take it.
the Rams, for you, Vincent, the Ram's head seems to revolve against the wall, but for whatever reason, it doesn't break through it the way that it had done before. You very obviously see Morgana punch the wall, and then, like, a shudder run through his body as Chip, and then he whistles, pulls out a weapon, and is going to try to attack again. Go for it. And Rendor, go ahead and, is there anything that you roll for Fireball, or do you just do it?
I think it's a D20 plus
I'll-
your spell proficiency. So I guess it's a +5 from the intelligence, and then a plus
Hold on one sec.
proficiency is.
Do you say Fireball or Firebolt?
Firebolt. That cantrip, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Then yes. Firebolt.
It's
Hold on.
a +4 attack.
Yes.
So is
Oh,
the
+9. I'll use
alternate
+9.
Darius also a partial cleric too?
In
Yes.
this, technically still alternate Tony, but in a sense, yes, which is odd to you.
Hey, yo, I'm Rioni.
Do you want to make an make a wisdom or intelligence check, Darius? You'll get two different things based on your observation of Tony. Go ahead and roll that roll, Tony, please.
Okay, Firebolt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I messed it up.
Aw.
So, Morgana, you bend to pick up your thing, and like sparklers at your feet, there's a sudden. You're able to dash to the side in time, but it was definitely almost like someone caught you in the middle of it and was like, "Hey, I see you." And you turn back and you see the tiny goblin wizard.
Could I say before I didn't even see? I'm like, I swear, I was trying to hit it with all my might. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying?
That's okay. That's all good. So that's one charge of the Ramhorn used, but y'all can keep attacking it until one of you hits and gets it to knock
Wait.
down. Yeah.
Oh wait, that's not gonna work. I bought a battering ram as Vincent, but I'm not Vincent, so
No.
Well, you still have access to
The
his
one
weapons.
time we're battering him.
But I don't know if you had it like active on you or if it was amongst your like bag of holding stuff. So Darius,
yeah, probably in my bag of holding.
Intelligently looking
What's
looking at Tony, you are able to see that there are weird similarities between you two. There is a weird bit of wisdom in that it's like it is weird that he seems to have your aspect of clericness as well, but that's. You're wondering if something in the way time has been manipulated and the fact that you're here in this book wherein the time is being recorded, if there is some kind of a crossing there between you all. But that also doesn't quite make sense to you because you haven't become any of these people. So there's something strange having to do with this that might have a root that you don't fully understand yet. That's what your wisdom tells you.
Like it's a part of a story that I'm not a part of, but all of a sudden he's a part of it.
Quite possibly. Also, sorry if that's too loud. I'm trying to add ambiance, and I have no idea if that is just bothersome. So, yes. But those are the things that you realize. Do you all continue to attack the wall?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone go again. Give me your best shot.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can use.
Whoa! So
Okay.
roll
Well,
those
I've got
three.
Firebolt also.
Go for it, Darius. Woo! Darius, you roll for firebolts as well. That's a good
Right.
hit.
Yeah.
Roll
I'm just
gonna
gonna
look
sit
cool.
back and let everyone
1d20
else.
plus 9, Darius. And then Rendor, I want you to roll that 3d10.
Is it? I think it's 2d10.
Oh, you're right, actually. I'm sorry. I forgot Darius was a lower
Oh
level
wait,
than
my
everybody
strength
else.
is +8. Whoopsie.
Oh, with a +8, that'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll me some damage with your preferred weapon.
Okay.
And then,
Oh, well, technically +7, but okay.
All
Wait,
right.
was that a damage? Oh no, it didn't. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Damage.
All right. So, 14, 30, yes, 14, 20, 29. Darius, roll some damage. Roll me 2d10. All right. With firebolts and then a of the mace that emerges with a strange sparkle from the kit of Chip. The wall before you disbands. That's not the word for how walls work, but we're going to ignore that. Is no more. This wall, it be busted up.
Nice.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Immediately check to see if the artifact is there.
Okay. 1 second. Hup. No. Hold on. I don't know how to get rid of these individual lines since I drew them together. They act as a poly thing. No. I need the rest of the room layout to remain there, please. So just pretend the wall isn't there. And forgive me. So the wall isn't here.
So
Everyone, make a quick perception check.
yeah, my perception of 3 or 2. 2.
Nice. Okay, so told and done easily enough, you're all able to see that 2 weird things. You see no artifact in this room, but this wall is still broken down. Not in the same pattern as it was when you all broke it earlier, but it doesn't exist there. And you can see that the door to this room, if you peek down the hallway slightly, you can see that is still open. And it is appears to be empty.
Okay. The room seems empty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I just check it anyway and see if the artifact's in there?
Sure. As soon as I remember which layer I put y'all's tokens on.
So
we go.
wait, one of the walls we broke down the last time is down, is what you're saying at first?
Yes. It is still down, but it's not down in the same pattern as it was before.
Oh, interesting. And that is where the artifact was last time, but it's not there.
This smaller place where Rendor is looking into right now, this is where it was earlier with Wolfdrax, but it just appears completely empty. It's as though it's as though there's just nothing left in these rooms.
Interesting.
One quick moment. Okay. I'm checking to see what Iris is doing. Y'all continue talking and doing what you would like to do, and I will still keep up with you as well.
Okay. I had a thing that I wanted to do, but I'm trying to look for it in Jax's character sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Are you all still there? It got very quiet.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find that thing.
That's okay. I would cut away to something that's happening elsewhere, but everybody make a perception check.
Wait. Okay. I found the thing. I don't know if this applies to this scenario. I don't think it does. But it says it's one of Drax's things. It says you can track other creatures while traveling at a fast pace, and you can move stealthily while traveling at a normal pace. Would the tracking part, could I try to use that to track and see if someone took the thing and I can track them?
So you start to make a hold on. What is that ability called again, real quick for me?
It's Aspect of the Beast Wolf.
Aspect of the Beast Wolf.
kind of don't think it's like. Not sure this is what it applies to, but
You
I
can make an
figured I might
attempt
as
with
well.
it. I'll say you attempt to use it, and I'll have you make a wisdom check to see if it makes sense of anything. Okay?
Okay.
What was the perception check? Render, was that 16 your perception check?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 13.
Dang it.
Okay. So you try to use the sense and you're not sure if it's failing because you don't know how to use it because you're not really Drax or because there's not anything here left to track. It's as though Rendor, you're able to tell kind of okay, so with your perception, it's as though all the things that had happened here just never happened. A. B. You and Darius Darius faintly, you ever so slightly louder, hear a boom from somewhere farther deeper in the dungeon to the right.
Okay. A boom. Oh wait, yes, I'm still that to me. Hey, yo, there's a boom that way, and I point.
You point in this,
Yeah.
just like
Point
this
in-
direction. In the in the here somewhere.
Okay.
Hey, yo, can you punch that wall again?
I didn't realize I had a
There's a boom.
pointer.
Ah,
Oh, thank goodness I have a pointer. I can point at things now. That's lovely.
maybe we can go back through the portal to find it. I'm gonna start heading back to the portal.
Okay.
All right. Does the rest of everybody go with y'all's?
I'll go. Yeah.
Okay. Darius, do you agree?
Does he mean go back through the puddles?
Yes.
Are those the portals?
Yes.
I just called them
Or do you
portals.
think that might be okay? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Whoo, whoo.
Wait, before we go, because if Iris does get there, can I don't know. I don't want to write because clearly that seems like it should be left for really important things considering every other time other people have written in this dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
But can I don't know. I'll just like draw an arrow, I guess. Can I
Okay.
do that?
Sure. Make a cartographer's kit check, the way that you usually do when you draw.
Okay.
Oh.
It's a very good arrow.
It's the most beautiful arrow. It looks like it's been here for 1,000 years. It fits with the decor. It's gorgeous. And
Wait, that could be a bad thing.
above it, do you write Iris or do you write Taya?
Yeah, I'll be like, I guess I'd write Iris, and then
Okay.
it'd be like we went through here. Or something.
Okay. Okay. All right. Done and done.
It's a
Whoop.
cursive arrow.
Cursive arrow.
Actually, all right, Taya, because I don't know, because time is weird right now. So
All right. Are you sure?
no. Hold on.
It's the most unsettling thing to hear from a DM.
Do you want to roll a wisdom check to help you decide? Do you want to pull a Tony? A Tony / a Sarah, but you don't know Sarah, so that doesn't make as much sense. I love the decision to roll wisdom checks to see if people do something stupid. I love it.
I had an idea, and then I realized it won't work.
What is your idea?
Well, because I've read up on, I forget what it's called. It's like I think it's a rogue ability or something. Is it Thieves' Cant, I think, where you can write something but make it look different to certain people?
Yes, that's the language that Tony read in the first hallway y'all walked through to get the first ominous message about time.
Tony, do you still know that language or the Thieves' Cant thing?
Yeah, actually, because Rendor is also a rogue.
Oh,
he does know thieves can't as well.
Does it work? You like, can you just choose any random person for it to work on, or like, how does that work?
So it just means that it'll be disguise. Anybody else who can read Thieves Can't would be able to read it. So it's up to you to know whether or not Iris/Taya can read that.
Uh-oh.
Does
I mean-
Iris participate in skullduggery?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. Does anyone have any advice? Should I just write Iris, or should we use the Thieves Can't?
You also have special tricks that only you can do as Harrison.
I know, but I want to use them for like cool things. I'll
You
just write
all
Iris.
you use the. It's so interesting. Pause for me to process my brain thoughts. It's so interesting the economy of your special rules, because it's like in certain sessions everybody goes hog wild, and then for long sessions nobody uses them at all, and it's so fascinating.
I'll try to make a promise to use mine this time, but not right now.
You don't have to. It's just so interesting to me. Okay, so what language are you going to try to write this in?
Just common, I guess.
All right, and are you writing Iris or Taya?
All right, Iris,
Okay.
because I know it's Iris because we talked to her earlier.
Okay. So then you write Iris, you let the ink dry a little bit, you pull your set back, and then you step back into the pool. Whoop! And you are here once more. Alright. What are y'all up to? What's the plan of attack?
Are there any signs of explosions?
Make a perception check upon re-entering this zone.
Okay. Everyone else wants to help too.
Everyone can make a perception check.
Perception.
Woo, Darius!
Perception check. Nice.
Nice, Darius.
Alright. So Rendor, you're not feeling too hot after stepping through that pool again. You're distracted. But Darius, Vincent, you're able to see part of the way, Vorgana, but you're a little back here and you get distracted by, you see writing on the wall that feels familiar to you in a way, and that distracts you from everything else. But Darius,
Okay.
you and Vincent are able to see down this long hallway. You're able to see, weirdly enough, it looks as though a similar trap to what you all had gone through before in the original hallway has already been sprung here. And all along this, you can't see the pink because it's on my layer, but all along this gray patch here to the left of the black are basically so how do I describe this? They look like half crumbled stones. You know in Mario where you can step on things a certain amount of times and then they fall away?
Yeah.
Each of these is one step away from falling away.
Ooh. Okay.
But, and the other thing, so the thing that you see, that you two see, that Chip and Rendor don't, is that there is a red-haired figure at the very far end here slumped against the wall. But who got the perfect 20? Darius. You're able to see, you have an initial thing of panic like Iris, but this figure with red hair does not have the same clothes that Iris had on. She has some like gauzy white garments on this time, but she is slumped against the wall and does not appear to be currently conscious. Along with this, Vorgana, the thing that distracts you, along the wall to the right side of where this black pit area is, appears to be some kind of writing in a language that's familiar to you. Vincent and Darius also see it, but do either of you speak Celestial?
No.
Oh yeah, okay, I do because of Chip.
Mm-hmm. Darius, do you speak Celestial?
Negative.
Randor or Tony?
I'm primordial,
All
and
right.
thieves can't.
So here you see your next challenge before you, if you choose to go this way. The other way you had previously seen this part of the hallway that extends further south to this door, or extends further north to a part of a hallway that you haven't seen the rest of. Aside from that, with the perfect perception check as well, I'll say, Darius, you and Vincent both recognize that this basic direction from where you were is sort of where you heard the boom. So you're not sure if it corresponds to something past beyond what you can see here, or if it corresponds to what caused this all to fall.
I mean, either way, I think that's a good bet to go because there's some version of Taya there. So,
What would
Darius,
you all
do
like
you
to
still have your staff thingy?
Yes. Don't you have yours?
No. Do I? Do I have? Do I have the one from last time? I think I gave it back.
No, you did give it back. I think you meant to say that to Tony, Dad.
Okay. Well, I got one. So does Tony.
What is this object?
The Rod of Lordly Might
What's
is
that?
what they are referring to.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it does, but I have one in my. I thought I had.
You can make it a ladder that'll be as long as you want it to be.
That's useful.
I'm sorry. Does it say as long as you want it to be?
Yeah.
Okay, the confidence, people. Okay. The rod transformed into a climbing pole up to 50 feet long. 50 feet long, as you specify. It's a bit different than as long as you want. I'll say that 50 feet.
Okay.
Max,
Yes.
that's not the scale.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to
I
do
was-
scale in this
That's-
as of yet. Someday I will
wasn't trying
learn.
to be
Are
like,
each of those
look,
squares
50
5 feet?
is-
No. Each of these squares is more like... Oh, boy. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what I had told y'all before.
I thought you said they were 5 feet.
I don't think that's correct.
This is shorter, at least on the map, than the other one was.
That's true.
But I don't think that necessarily means that.
But
I don't know if that was your intent.
The reason that y'all were able to get across the other one before with that ladder is because it hadn't fallen away the entirety of the way.
Right.
This one already has. So I think this would get you...
Well, we have two rods of lordly might. Can we
That's-
tie them together with some
Yeah.
rope and then extend them out to like, I don't know, 90 feet?
That
Feet of overlap?
That would probably work. I want the two of you to roll either an intelligence check, Tony and Darius, or a Tinkerer's Tools check. You both have Tinkerer's Tools because you're both Darius, technically. So roll with that to hack and slash together an extra long ladder, and then I think you can manage it.
Okay, Tinker's tools are a plus. Whoa, Darius! You're a fancy boy.
All right.
Wow. Nice.
Put together, I'll say that is easily doable. So y'all are able to... I will draw it in silver. Get a ladder which does extend as far as you need across this cavern. Roughly like this. So it would still probably... Well, yes. You were able to put it together. Who would like to go first, and is anybody going to hold it?
I'll
Also-
go first to the other end because I've got the athletics.
Okay,
So-
I'll hold it then.
Okay.
I've got Featherfall as well, so.
Okay.
True.
Go ahead and roll that athletics check for me.
Okay.
Does me holding it add anything?
It makes the DC lower which he did
Okay.
not need. So Tony still a goblin, still a rogue because Rendor. Naruto runs across it, gets to the other side, very very
And
easily.
I'll secure the other side and hold it
Okay.
for
All right. Nice. Who would like to go next? Let me get back to the layer where I can move y'all.
I'll keep holding it just so it's extra stable.
Okay. Who would like to go next, Darius or Vorgana?
I motioned for Darius to go, and I
go.
also kind of like.
Also, kind of like yes.
I was just gonna say, like, is there another side that I could hold it on to make sure that?
You can like split the load a
completely
little
stable.
bit with Vorgana and Darius, yeah. Or with Rendor and Darius, I'm
Okay.
sorry. So Darius, all three of them holding it will make the DC lower. Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me to get across.
I believe in you, Darius.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Darius, inspired by this tiny wizard who is like him and yet not like him. Also, Naruto runs across the ladder.
You know, I cartwheel across it.
it's competitive.
Yes. Yes.
And I nailed the dismount.
Yes. Yes, you do. All right. Who's
Then I
going?
helped secure that end for the other guys.
Okay. Who goes next?
I'll go. I like spit on my hands, on
Yeah.
both hands,
All right.
and then I like rub them together and get ready to go.
All right.
Got this.
What is it? I think it's +8 with Chip's athletics. Yep.
Yeah.
Come on, please.
All right. Nice.
Oh yeah.
And I want to ask you, so do you go slowly or quickly? Do you try to read what's on the wall?
I
at
go
all?
quick.
Okay.
I guess I could go slowly.
All right.
I don't know. I'll try to read what's on the wall.
All right. Make a quick perception check as you read it, because 26 is really good.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. So it's going to take you a little bit to process, which means it's going to take me a little bit to type.
Okay.
But Darius, you're thinking about it as you get to the other end. I assume you two are still holding it down. There's not really a place for a third. So Drax, you're the last to go. Do you want to go ahead and roll that athletics check to make the cross?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. So with those two holding it down, you're still able to make it. As you make it, though, because of the fact that it's only being held down on the one side, you're slightly running up by the end of it. So they, you know, Darius and Rendor both reach out a hand at the very end to pull you up, and then have to haul the ladder up very slowly to make sure neither of the rods get lost. But congratulations, you have successfully traversed this this last obstacle. Yay! And now you are all able to see this Taya in the corner who is currently unconscious. And give me one moment as I type, please talk amongst yourselves about how good you just did with that last thing.
Awesome. Man, that was good.
Yeah.
Hey,
That
bro,
was
give me
cool.
5.
Died.
kind of like jump up to give the high
Yeah.
five. That's a really high five.
We start doing the handshake that we saw the Chips doing. Just,
yeah.
like, all around to each other.
Yeah, and as I'm seeing all of you doing the high fives, I give a thumbs up.
Part
So
of
I'm
you
really-
mourns for the sick handshake that you would have done not 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
With ours not.
Oh, yeah. My friendship is gone.
Oh. I try to replicate it with you, but probably
I
not as good as other Chip.
I remember our friendship as Vergana, and I'm like, this is just as good.
Oh.
But I will cherish our friendship forever. Now I know the meaning of friendship.
The real artifact is friendship all along.
Yes.
And then I kind of like look back at the blocks and I was like, why didn't we just go across this?
I just go, oh yeah.
I guess we can maybe use them going back. Oh well.
True.
And then I don't want to do anything that interrupts Granny's typing, but I want to see it, or like I forget if I know this was not Artea, but I'm just gonna kind of look at her and be like, this isn't Artea.
Yes. So if you get closer to investigate her,
Yes.
so this Taya appears to be slumped unconscious to the side. You're not sure if she's hurt at all. Her face seems a little bit disturbed in her sleep, but she seems all right. Her hair is down, which neither of the previous Tayas were very long. She appears slightly older than either of the other two Tayas as well. Go ahead and roll.
I do a cantrip for cure wounds.
Okay.
And
Wait, is
touch
she just
her and see.
asleep or is she injured?
Make a medicine check, whoever wishes to. Darius, in healing her, she does not wake up, which seems to indicate to you. Go ahead and make a medicine check, whoever would wish to. Also, when you get the chance to process that fully, Vorgana, go ahead and let the other folks know what you read on the wall. When you wish, okay?
Okay.
I DM'd it to you.
Wait. Oh wait. Oh okay.
Okay. So both of you realize that she doesn't appear to be unconscious, as though she's not like at full health, so you did help her somewhat, Darius, but she's not unconscious due to being beaten up. She's just asleep through some kind of what do not appear to be. This does not look like a position someone would naturally fall asleep in, so you imagine there was some tomfoolery to have been had. Rendor, you remember you had this spell when you were a low level that causes something like this?
I had this happen to me?
I know that this is a bard spell that you use at low level when you don't have good attacks. Wink.
Oh, the sleep spell?
Yes.
I don't have that spell as a bard,
Okay.
but I know I remember Sarah using it,
Yeah.
like back when we were level 3.
Cross campaign knowledge, y'all. Don't worry about it. Okay. Bless you. Nonetheless, I would say Rendor probably knows of its existence.
Okay,
So
you can just shake her awake.
Mhm.
Hey, just kind of like shake her shoulder. With my shield in front.
I don't know if
Okay.
you should wake her up.
She spazzes out.
Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. She blinks slowly and then looks up at the three of you and kind of startles.
The shield goes up, duck behind it. Keep back out.
I am looking for the other party members.
Where have you all... make another perception check as you glance around the further areas that are around you. Where have you all been? Who are you? She looks at Darius. Why are you dressed? Is that a... Where did she go?
So I think just to cut to the chase here, there's like multiple versions of us. As I speak in Render's voice rather than Tony's,
Yes.
and it's just simple enough to know, like, at this point there could be so many variations of the same group of people that it's confusing. So at this point, you haven't done anything with time yet, have you?
No, we would try. Who are you and what do you know? She kind of scrambles to her feet.
So don't do anything with time.
You're telling
And
me.
Oh,
Yeah,
I-
don't do anything with
did
time.
somebody say time?
Yes.
Because I have something that I read about time as I was walking up the wall.
Oh,
What's
Um,
that?
Something
Is
was written
something I'd
in
like to hear?
celestial language. I think so. Yeah, it relates to all of this, to time at least. Okay, so I read on the wall. It says, "Time cannot be destroyed. New versions of it are discovered. We are and are not us. We have always been that which we never were. The only difference is the time and the timing. We cannot undiscover the truth."
you didn't write that, did you? And I look at the new Taya.
No, I didn't. It was written on the wall for me as well when I crossed over here.
What put you to sleep?
Some other version of me, if you would believe it.
So you know about that? Okay.
Yes,
I'm just gonna
unsurprisingly.
start running down the hallway, like while they're conversing.
All right. You.
Oh, yeah, he's gone.
Hold on 1 second. Let me adjust
I'm
a
just gonna be,
couple
like-
things.
Actively trying to dodge any traps, like not necessarily worrying about tripping them, more so worrying about if I do trip them, dodging them.
Okay. All right. So as you begin to run down the hallway, you begin to see. Let me get back to this layer. Boom, 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 boom. There's another hallway that leads down here that appears to be the joining hallway of the first room that you appeared in. So this is a loop. It also appears as though this area leads further in here. With a wall sectioning off a small area there. Give me this. Yes. There appears to be something weird with the ground here. Again, as if a trap has already been tripped. Do you keep going to the right, or do you change direction down any of these halls?
I just kind of, with the best of my tracking ability, follow like the traps that have been tripped, or like, I don't know. My instinct says to go this way, but
Okay, make another, Do you want to make a roll to try and decide which way you should go?
sure.
Roll a... Roll a wisdom check.
Okay.
Render, what other questions are you asking this alternate Taya?
Could you give me a description of this Taya that put you to sleep?
She was me, but younger, and she had a hairpiece, and her dress was green.
Okay, is that the same description as the Taya that we had?
Yes.
Ha! Thank you. She didn't have any time abilities, did she?
I don't know. She put me to sleep. I'm not... How many times have you been through it so far?
One.
Oh, you're no help. Get out of my way, please. And she starts to try and shuffle past you.
Yeah, I let her.
Ah! I do not mean to squish and squish.
I'm gonna use my chaos roll.
Okay, go for it. Reroll with advantage.
Okay, cool.
Hey, I remembered the mechanics of my own game without having to double check it. Woohoo!
It's weird when you have to look up your own rule for
I
things you wrote.
know!
I know this. I wrote it.
I know. Okay. Okay, so wisdom-wise, you just become more informed about both of the two paths. The further way right will lead to more discovery. The further way down here will lead to perhaps a more immediate payoff of what you actually want, but potentially more conflict.
I'll go that way.
South?
The conflict one.
All right.
Conflict.
Boom, 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 boom.
I thrive off of conflict. No, kidding.
All right. So the trap, let me reveal where the trap would have been here. It's weird because I have to copy it from a GM layer to the primary layer. Boop. It would have been here. It would have been here, and then I will delete it from the GM layer. Well, no, I'll leave it there. So the tripped trap here looks like spikes reaching 3 feet up, almost to your waist. But because they're already sprung, you can kind of step between them the way you always wish you could in video games. It's Spelunky, not Mario. So do you continue? So yes, this is the fullness of the room. If you step through here, you'll start to reveal the rest of what is here. Do you wish to?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make a quick, like a stealth check to get between these spikes easy. Pretty please.
Okay. Stealth check. Interesting.
She is going to also get moved to the correct layer so that I can move her without jumping back and forth. And she is going to head this way. Alright. Easily enough, you're able to move between the spikes. As you head to the left, you see a similar row of spikes here. And then you see what you would start to see this. You would see 2 Draxes.
Oh my gosh.
And then the edge of a Tony, part of a Taya. And then you don't see... This is what your cone of vision allows. Roll a perception check to actually process any of this. What are the rest of the 3 of you doing? This Taya is running away. And we're going this way.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm following.
I guess I'm following Vincent.
You're following Vincent. Morgan, are you
Yeah,
following
where's-
Taya or Vincent?
Oh, it's such a hard decision. I'll follow Vincent. He may
Okay.
need some backup. I know that he's found people and they might be dangerous.
Yes. Morgana, are you following Taya or Vincent?
Man, yeah, I want to protect both of them, or at least like help Vincent or protect and help Taya. I'll go with Taya. I don't want to split, but
All right. Darius, are you going with Vincent or Taya?
Well, can I ask the blue square? Who's that?
That is Vincent.
Vincent. Who do you see?
You can cast message, yes, because there's no walls between you. Go ahead and do that. Vincent, you already rolled a 24 stealth, so you're already technically hiding. As you approach Rendor, you may want to do the same, but this is all happening all together. So go ahead and do your message and roll stealth. And then, Morgana, you roll perception as you're following Taya.
Vincent. What do you see down there?
I tell Darius that I see more Draxes and more Tonys and Chips, maybe.
Taya.
And yeah, another Taya too.
Is it our Taya?
Vincent,
I don't
that
think so, but I
Or
can't
should I
tell you.
follow the other Taya that's running away?
Vincent, that last 20 that you rolled, was that perception? So okay. So the Tony that you see definitely looks different. He also looks older and a little bit meaner. The 2 Draxes look almost like twins, which weirds you out. One has their hair up, one has their hair down. One has golden marks beneath their eyes instead of red. And the other one has still the red, but has a thick scar across their nose. You can't tell what the classes they are off the bat, but the barest peak of the Taya that you get around the corner is currently being held up by something, and you can see the very base of like feet kicking out a little bit, and up top those feet, green fabric.
Is that Artea?
I don't remember.
The green.
Can I get closer while still being stealth?
Pretty sure
Yes.
that's ours.
Because you got
Also,
yes, go.
oh, I was just gonna say. Also, I'm gonna tell Darius that I think he should follow Taya
Okay.
because I've got Rendor backing me up, and
Okay.
I think Forgana should have somebody backing me.
Okay, so Render, you're
Thank
right
you.
there, but you got a 10. Okay. Darius, do you follow Vincent's advice? Morgana, did you roll perception as well?
Oh no, sorry.
Just
Let me
okay.
do that really fast.
This is so chaotic. But I love
No.
Was that
So
your
Vincent, you
I-
telling me to follow the other Taya?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll follow the other Taya.
So Morgana,
Bring
as you
those
follow,
other people this way.
as you also follow the other Taya, Morgana, you're able to see she's actually running towards other party members of hers. There's also a Drax. There's also a Chip. As you get past this hallway, you can see there's also a Tony. Interestingly, this time their races seem to be different. You can still tell
Oh.
a little bit. The Tony is like a slightly too short tabaxi. The Drax is a half elf. The Chip is a what's the name of the lizard person? The Chip is a lizard person. I don't remember what the name of the race is. Kobold. That'll work. Thank you.
Kobold, yeah.
But like a chunky, too big kobold who should not be this cool.
Cool.
And then, yes. Whereas these still seem to just be class swapped. It's all very chaotic. As Taya approaches this tabaxi... I just realized that what I did on accident. I did not think about that, Ryan. this tabaxi... That was not on purpose. I think my brain just put the letters together, but there we go. This tabaxi Tony approaches and seems to actually like draws a bow on her, but she holds a hand up and is like, I do not even have time for this right now. Literally do not. Oh, the word time. The word time. The word time. Are you following me? She's gonna roll a quick unintentional intimidation check.
I'm
Okay.
not intimidated.
I don't feel intimidated.
Tabaxi Tony also does
Not
not
yet,
seem
at least.
intimidated, still has his bow raised. The Drax and the Chip from the corner look at her. The Drax seems to recognize her and comes to her side and says, What are you doing? Guys, this is Taya, come on. I don't know what's going on here and I don't like it. And that's Chip. And things are happening here. But what actions are all y'all taking? Because you two over here are kind of in bullet time reacting, and you're also having to figure out this social situation / potential bullet time. So, what do?
Do any of them have any of the ones we can see? Any of them have the artifact? And I do try to get a closer look at the Taya to see if it's our Taya, and also to see if she has the artifact.
So with your 24, I'll say you can get a little bit closer, but it's getting pretty tight. I'll say you can easily see that none of them actively have the artifact. Speaking of, though, the Taya up here. Okay, so you're following me. You want to kill me. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Has anybody found it yet? Please, I don't know. Drax, do you remember how many times we've been through this? Yes, this is the third one. Come on, Chip, come on. He, like, tries to get Chip to realize what's going on. And then he, like, looks over Taya's shoulder at you, Chip, and he's like, wait a moment. I haven't met... Do you get what's going on? Are you ours? Are we mixed up? Are we mixed up? Yeah.
But what
Are we?
about me?
You are new, I will admit.
Okay, well then, chill out. Hey, come on, you other guys, come on. Let's get this straightened out.
Yeah, let's.
Roll a persuasion check.
Also, we gotta help our
both
friends.
of you. Both of you. Uh,
Wait,
I-
me too?
yes, you two are both asking them to help in an attempt to help her. So
Yeah,
do that.
okay, that makes sense.
Rendor, you're a little bit stumblier here. I'm gonna roll a quick perception check for both of these Draxes.
No, wait. Which one has better persuasion?
Perception is where it's plus.
Oh, +8? Chip, you my man over here.
Okay, so this Drax
Oh, come on.
hears you slink between some of the spikes a little bit and starts to glance over. Ha! Hold on. Is this on this layer? Oh my gosh. How much? Yes, go ahead.
I'll wait to see if it's like they're not really listening to us, or like if they failed to like be like, no, we don't want to listen to them. Then I want to use an olive oil.
The Tabaxi seems unconvinced the Drax is trying to help. The Chip is on the fence. She's also going to roll a persuasion check, and that will give you a better answer. So let's do this for this Taya. Ba-ba-ba.
Okay.
What did I even say? Persuasion. +1. Taya. Alright. Everyone but the
I'm gonna do thaumaturgy. I'm gonna talk really, really, really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And say, Iris, come this way.
Okay. Okay. So as you do that, a few things happen. Hold on. So this goes back there. This is here. This is here. This is me trying to copy things to a better layer. As you say that, Vincent, Rendor, you hear a like squeak come from here, and it sounds cut off slightly. These two definitely look over. You have been spotted, Rendor, for sure, with the additional stimulus of that. This Tony goes, huh? Who's Iris? Who's Iris? And he, Vincent, you see her like feet wobble a little. She's being held up by something. You do not know what, but she let out a noise in response, but otherwise was not heard. But this Tony has this. Oh my gosh! Sorry, my own brain is. This secondary Drax. This one. I'll call him. He's yellow markings, and this one is nose scar. Oh, I'll make this one yellow inside. Hey, options menu. Come back here. Thank you.
I don't know what's happening.
I thought Drax's was white.
Drax is blue.
Oh crap!
So thaumaturgy. As you do that, this Tiberius is about to let an arrow loose at this Taya because. I literally called him Tiberius. Tony.
Tiberius.
I'm so sorry.
Tiberius the Tony Tiger.
Ryan, I'm so sorry. But this Tony's about to let an arrow free, which means I know you wanted to use your Oliver roll, so do that. At the same time, this guy is going to try to attack you, Rendor. Because he sees you because he was brought to your attention. It also kind of messes up your stealth, Vincent. This Drax is going to roll another perception. Roll 1d20. Where is Drax?
Can I try to make another stealth roll?
Go for it, but I think it'll be a disadvantage because Darius used thaumaturgy to make. He's like on alert now, so do it, but at disadvantage. Stealth +1. Okay. Well, that's not stealth. Okay. Okay.
So there's other things I can do. I'll try to just roll stealth again, but if that doesn't work, I want to try to use what's it called? Earth tremor.
Okay. All
So
right.
I'm gonna try to roll first.
Let's go for it. You roll stealth, and then if that, so see that 15 I just rolled?
Yes.
That was his new perception check.
Okay.
So that means I think I need 3 Draxes and a Tony to roll initiative, and then I need are you gonna use your Oliver roll to try and help be more convincing so that this Tony does not shoot this Taya?
Yes.
Okay.
God, I hope this works.
Are you gonna roll a Chaos or a Oliver?
Like an Oliver.
Okay, what do you want to happen then?
I want everyone to come to an understanding.
You just want everybody to be friends? That's your
The
Oliver roll?
situation. Yeah, pretty much. I just want everyone to be like, chill out and be like, hey, we need to go help each
Okay.
other here.
Let me ask specifically.
Sure.
Do you want to come to an understanding of the situation or an understanding of each other?
Yes. Of each other.
Of each other. Okay. Are you
Well,
rolling...
no, the situation. I think the situation's more important
Okay.
right now. Because then if the situation gets handled, we'll be able to understand each other better. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do the situation.
So, you
1d6?
because 1d6 real quick, because of the research that you put in before, thinking and meditating and working it out for yourself before, you know that your bonus as Veronica in this stat is to understanding. So
Okay.
I think that fits perfectly with this situation. Roll to comprehend how you must look at a situation in order to see it from another perspective. So 1d6 plus 1, so you get a 3.
Oh, plus 1. 3? Okay.
Yeah. So you get a 3. So you get...
Okay.
You could use your chaos roll to re-roll your.
It's
Oliver
true,
roll.
you
I'm
could.
just saying. I'm not advising it. I'm just saying it's a.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I want to risk it. I was thinking that too, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna risk
You
it.
keeping it? Keeping it?
Yeah, keeping it 3.
Okay. So, okay.
What does that mean again? I forget.
So, you get part of what you want, but not all of it, and it comes slightly at a cost.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
rather than completely understanding the situation, you all suddenly understand it a little bit more in part, including you, Rendor. But, weirdly, for you, when this information enters into your brain, it feels like something you should have already known. And you're like, finally, that weird itch you've had in your, like, back of your head since this whole thing started with the time garbage is like, finally. But, so, how do I explain a partial understanding of this that doesn't just say it all? Looking back at the context that the last thing written out in Celestial on the wall, that is what pops in to make sense. You are and are not you. You have always been that which were never were. The only difference is the time and the timing. You cannot undiscover the truth. Part of the way that this time turner works is a little bit of a trick, because it does not necessarily go back to the same timeline, but it recedes and makes it so that someone else is stolen from the time that they were in, from a different version of themselves.
Oh, crap.
So, but what that means is that you do not know how many versions of each of these people have been in this dungeon, this puzzle, this whatever it is, this Sisyphean trial, for how long.
I have to look that up.
The dude who pushes the rock up to the top of the hill only for it to roll back down every time.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yes. I only know it because Dustin keeps referencing it. And you're not sure how to bring... Huh?
Does he use that in his job description?
Sometimes, yes. But the thing that you don't understand is how to put an end to it, or the full ramifications of what that means for you or any other version of these people, or for Iris, or for this book, or anything. But like I said, that understanding enters into everyone's minds at the same time. Doesn't really get rid of the tension, brings more context to the tension. But it feels like a particular relief to you, Rendor, and even you beyond you being Rendor right now, which is weird because you don't have words for that, but you know that at one point in your life you already had words for this. Of course you understand the possibility of bringing someone else's timeline into your own and becoming that version. That makes so much sense to you. Anyway.
Okay.
So, big chunk of the puzzle uncovered. But the last piece still needs to be put in. What are y'all doing?
All right, so I'm going to thaumaturgy again.
Uh-huh.
And say, everybody, stop.
Roll a persuasion check. I'll say with advantage.
Can I
Yes.
Can I help in any way?
If you want to repeat what he said, or say it at the same time, I will let you give him advantage.
Okay, I try to say it at the same time. How about that?
Okay.
I guess that's a performance check.
Sure.
Yeah.
Get above a
Okay.
10. You've known Darius long enough to know, at this point when he's about to do a big class. Quiet down.
Nice.
In
Dang.
perfect unison. Everybody, stop. So Dad, roll that with advantage. So just roll that same persuasion roll again and see if you get a higher than 16.
Come on. We got this.
Okay.
Nope, 16.
Okay.
Mm.
So the need to roll for initiative is paused, but there's still a high tension. The arrow is not fired, or is not loosed. But Vincent and Rendor, I want both of you to make quick perception checks for me.
No, wrong way. Hey.
Okay.
You
Nice.
think
Okay.
of like finding doors? Yeah, the
Yeah.
beluga.
Yes. So, Vincent, this recent deluge of information hurts your brain. Rendor, it has reinvigorated you in ways that you had previously unrecognized, and you suddenly feel a sharper clarity of understanding than you have in a long time. But it also brings you a greater awareness of your surroundings, and you hear a sound that you do not like, which is the sound of what sounds like a blade retreating from a body, and you know that it's coming to the right, and you know that it can only be coming from the direction that Iris is being suspended in. And then there's also a slight slump to the ground. I'll say you get like a general sense of this whole room. But everybody does stop, and these two start to come around, but Iris does not.
The telekinesis on Iris's body.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you, okay, hold on. Let me get to the correct layer. You dash forward. Do you have to be able to see the person? Because you just heard this.
I just have to be able to see, yeah.
Okay, so you're able to see when you get to Vincent's range. You can see where she her feet slump on the ground. So you cast telekinesis. Oh my gosh, that's so. Okay, hold on. I'm looking up telekinesis.
Yo, for you.
Yeah. Yes. It's concentration. 60 feet. You're levitating her. Do you bring her to you immediately? What do you do?
I can move her 30 feet, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I move over the spikes and on the other side of the wall, like in the adjacent square to where the red guy is to the right?
Here? Yes, I think so. But I think that
Yeah.
would be uh, a surprise action, and I think that action reignites the need for initiative. So
Oh,
let's
come on.
roll that. It's a good move, though. It's a good move, but holy moly.
Okay. Okay, so
Um,
no other action
Can
there.
we talk about this? Why does that make them want to fight us?
Because, okay. Okay. Roll a quick insight check if you want a genuine answer to that question. And or perception check again.
Was that Tony that transferred her over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was this perception or
Okay,
insight?
Tony. Cure wounds.
Insight.
Insight. The 15?
Yeah.
They seem mad in the same way that Rendor seems mad that Iris just dropped.
I see.
And Rendor, I should have shown you this, but you were distracted by the active thing over here. There is yet another Taya body slumped in this corner, except this one is also bloody. This one is not wearing green, though.
They're Taya hunting. They
Are
figured
they
it out.
Taya hunting or the Taya's Taya hunting? And then Iris got caught in the crossfire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
we cure wounds on her?
Cure wounds is touch. You have to be right next to the person. You can probably you could probably cast healing word on her from where you are. But I wanted to offer to you all, do you want to stop here? I know it's a little bit early, but also I feel like this will be a thing. And do you feel satisfied with the
Yeah.
bit of information you have received?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That
I
was
think this might be
But
I want to keep going too, but I know this might be big
a bigger deal.
thing. Yeah.
Unless here, okay. You, Max the player. You, my friend.
yeah.
Hey, hi, hello.
Hello.
You take issue with the idea that they want to start fighting, even though you have now been given a personal reason as to why they might have. Do you want to use your Oliver roll to say no? Do you want to feed off of what Morgana's Oliver roll could have been, where we understood in the situation, but now we understand each other? Do you want to try to do that? Or something like
I
that?
do want to try to use my Oliver roll,
What do you want to do?
but I had an idea already of what I might want to do, but
What is it?
I'm not sure if I should do it. My idea was to basically combine all the Draxes and also within using that force destroy all the Draxes but revive all the Tayas. If that makes any sense.
Hold on. One sec. Okay.
I think I just broke Granny's brain.
I just needed to get away from the mic for 1 second to do a yell. We're fine. Okay. If you want to try it, try it.
All right, I'm gonna try it.
Do you remember? Has Harrison figured out what his stat is in? I know that Veronica figured it out. I'm not sure if Harrison did.
I don't think so,
Okay.
but I know I remember what it is, and I feel like that would honestly correlate.
I think
Just
I
because
think
of the
that you
nature.
remember because you did figure it out. You tell me what you think it is.
It's Will, right?
It is Will. All right. You want to go for it?
Sure.
I think he will.
All right. Roll 1d6 plus 1.
Is it too much to ask that if I fail, someone else can give me their chaos roll since I used mine already?
Yeah, sure. You can take mine.
Okay.
I'm gonna use it because
Okay.
Oh God, yeah, go for it.
Roll the d6 chaos roll.
okay.
Okay, that just means you may re-roll neither with advantage nor disadvantage. So 1d6 plus 1 once more.
Hopefully, I can get better than a 1. But
Oh,
Perfect.
thank you for
wow,
your chaos
wow.
roll. Aaron.
Yeah, of course. Wow, good job.
Okay. So, in your own words, what did you want one more time?
Okay. So I basically want to combine all the Jaxes, or in other words, or like combine them and destroy them, or just destroy all of them, and then kind of like convert that life force into all of the Teas, or like bring the Teas back to life. But also kill all the Jaxes within doing that.
Okay.
Aren't you Drax right now?
Yep.
No.
Okay. So, here's what happens. From your Vincent, purely from your perspective. I think we still might end here. From your perspective, Vincent, you watch as boop and boop and y'all over here. See? Is that on GM info? No, it's on tokens. And
I also request that Iris gets like a message where I'm like, you have to let us go. And then it kind of like echoes into Vincent and then into Harrison. Like their voices.
this is done. Make no mistake. Oh, I accidentally made this blue dot be a part of. Okay. This one also boops away. I may regret that later when I have to redraw walls, but it's the time of the moment. And last but not least, boop. So, Vincent, you do this, and then, where is here? You pop back into existence, and you're Vincent, and you are laying on the ground of a familiar hut, and you hear a woman's voice talking to herself. He's gonna come back. You don't need to worry about it. It'll be fine. Just wait. He told you to wait. You're gonna wait. All right? He's found so many new things to show him. He's gonna be so impressed. He's gonna be so proud of you. It's gonna be all worth it in the end. And then, I'm imagining with your appearance was a slight poof, as if you had fallen on the ground from maybe an inch above. And you look up and around, and you find yourself in the hut of that same woman who you had found on the beach before.
Mm-hmm.
And blinking up to the side, you can see on her small bookshelf the book that was on the beach. And she turns around, looks at you on the ground, drops the fish she was skinning as you suddenly appear, and then screams.
I think I would just pass out from shock.
Yep. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session, if that is okay with
What?
everybody.
Yeah, what the?
Well, all
hell?
right.
We will start with the rest of what you all see in the book and how you all decide to handle it.
Dang.
So,
Yeah.
I hope some of that made any sense. I'm not trying to make it be weird. It makes sense in my brain. Does it make sense to anybody else yet? What do you guys think is going on?
I mean, I'm hoping my role worked and all of the Drax has died, but it seems like because nobody else, like everybody else, is still in the book.
Are we? Yeah, I'm wondering if we're still in the book, and Vincent is now out of the book in a hut.
At the current moment, that appears to be the case.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, do we have to kill our everyone, all of our people, all of ourselves? I'm so confused.
Chaos roll is what. Wait, was Vincent also a Drax?
Yes. Vincent was
wonder if-
inhabiting Drax.
I wonder if your death is an exit. Or if the just reality warping powers of the chaos rules just broke the book and he just made him come out and just expelled
That's
it.
true. I'm afraid of that because, like, I
Mm,
don't know if they had that kind of power, like, when this happened in the original writing of the book.
yeah.
But I think that's for
Whatever the
Brandon to
case,
decide.
whatever the case, from our point of view in the book, you're just gone.
Yeah.
Like we don't even know what happened. All those smiley faces. Evil Granny GM.
Listen, I've called them chaos rolls for a reason.
True. You always gotta just fully embrace the chaos.
Yes. Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Well,
I'm gonna come up with some. Ooh.
no.
Oh, it's so
that's
juicy.
good. I'm glad.
Oh, it's so juicy. Oh, it's so. Give it. Yes,
Can't wait.
thank you. What a gift you've given me, Max. A gift. All right. Sorry for getting actually maniacal at the end there. I hope everybody has had fun.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
All right. Usually y'all ask for a secondary cliffhanger or something, but I'm gonna guess that was enough.
Oh yeah.
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 Does anything make sense beyond just what just happened? Does any of the rest of it make sense to you now?
Sort of. Does anyone else get it? Like fully? I'm still a little
Not
lost, but
fully.
I'm enjoying the ride.
Okay.
Yeah. I have
I
bits
haven't
and
figured
pieces.
it out. I know something is going on with time.
Yes.
So
I don't
What
know
I've-
what.
sorry. Just what I've pieced together from what you've told it, or like what you just said basically is that whenever they use the time traveling thing, it takes, like, they already have their own timelines where they're just doing their own thing, but it takes them and brings them there. And so every time every time someone has died in the party, like most likely Drax, then the Teas or someone in the party uses the time thing to try to bring them back, but then that brings another set of them to it. What I don't know is what happens
Yeah.
to
Okay.
the ones who have used it. Like, because the ones we watched use it just disappeared. But when
Yeah.
we used it, or when Rendor used it, we just were transported, like, into a different version. So, I don't know. That's basically all I've pieced together, but that is kind of just everything Granny said already. So
I am happy with this
I
explanation.
guess the biggest.
Mhm.
Sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead.
That was great. That actually helped me a lot. But I want to say I'm still very confused when it comes to like how all of this is relative to like the book itself, and if because it was only missing how many pages, or was it missing a lot of pages?
It was missing a chunk of pages, but it was just like this set of pages had been like marred beyond recognition, so it wasn't readable. So Iris kind of found/developed this way of going into it, the way that she was able to and learn from all the previous oracles. But this oracle and two more in the book have sections like this that's just kind of broken in some way.
Hmm. And I guess I'm wondering if that's relative to like what's happening to us right now. If either the books or like the writing in the book is like also somehow connected to like what we're doing right now, or like B, if because the pages are messed up, we're just like in some weird time loop thing.
That's true.
That's the question.
When you
Yes.
say
Yeah.
that, it makes me realize it's eerily similar to how our original characters were sucked into the comic book at the very
Yeah.
beginning.
That's really true.
About all that.
Nice.
Indeed.
We need to have like a discussion. Like we should have like a talk.
An
I'm trying to think
after
of like a better, yeah, like an after show for sure.
DieRole, dies rolled.
Dies roll.
Like a talk
like
talk,
that.
you know?
Yes,
I
I'll put that in the.
like that one too. Talking die.
Well, I hope you all had fun. I enjoy
Yeah.
saying things that kind of make sense in certain contexts, and perhaps to me only. But I'm glad you all have enjoyed it. Could I interest any of you in saying your very special sign off?
Sure.
Who would like to count down?
I can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that's just
Just
how we
roll.
roll. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. We love you.
Good night.
We'll see you.
Love you all.
Good night.
See you next time, everybody. Good night.